cut corners here and cut some there. I'm not one of those people. It's pretty straightforward when I'm doing here. I just want them to say, here's what you owe us, pay us at this time, and great. Or remember Chris Rock? He had the bit from like 25 years ago. And he was like, why is the government coming to me all late like a crackhead? Like, I need a little bit more money. I'm like, no, just tell me what I owe you throughout the year.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I feel shame because I'm incompetent, and it's like some of the money is automatically withheld, and some of it, the way it works with our job and commercials and all that, it's different. You have to file a different, but it's not that hard. I go into my tax lady and she's like, are you married? Nope. Any dependents? Nope. You have a house? Nope. In the stock market, cryptocurrency? Nope. Vacations? No. I have nothing.
You owe $6,000.
I'm the most straightforward.
I know.
And then she looks and is like, almost with that eye of, why aren't you doing this yourself? Like she feels like she's stealing from me because my taxes are so profoundly easy compared to everyone. No medical expenses, no procedures, nothing. I have nothing to complicate. I guarantee you, I am the easiest tax situation you can possibly have, and it is too much for me.
Look, man, I was late to recess because I couldn't figure out 6 times 9. So you want me all of a sudden to be able to figure out taxes and do it right to the penny? Well, that's just not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
All
I
right.
need a lady.
I think I did pay successfully my Missouri state tax online about 25 minutes ago. I think I did it right. I'm going to do the city, and there's a discrepancy with the federal. I don't know, with health insurance and oh my God.
We're getting ready for the show.
Oh, by the way.
In one of the studios, we hear this. Hey, what printer does this computer print to? And our producer Dave goes, it doesn't. And then you hear, and you just hear this mumbling and cussing. And I go, are you doing your taxes?
It was at 9:45. That's how we get ready for the show. That's Amy Marks' course. I'm Chris Ranji. I don't know who's more incompetent, us or the circuit attorney's office. We'll talk about that next on KMOX.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to The Dave Glover Show and all the news, talk, sports, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
This is the start where the early birds start getting their prices for air conditioners. If you're that person that is looking now to get prices and you are calling around, please, I'm asking you to please call me. Here's what I have to offer. It's going to be simple. It's going to be straightforward. It's common sense language. And I won't give you a science lesson on what works for you and works for your house and works for your budget, which will lead you to savings of thousands of dollars. So if you want straight shot, get your prices, talk to people, call me first, call me last. Bart Inman at 314-293-2600. Again, it's Bart Inman, 314-293-2600, or the internet thing. It is, you got to get the spelling right. So it's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. Can I add this? Do we get enough time to add this? Save it in your phone under A, air conditioning. It works. My customers say it does work. God bless.
When you enter a place of business, you're owed a legal duty that the place of business is safe for you to shop in. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you suffered an injury at a place of business, our duty is to protect you after that harm. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Let the backyard get-togethers begin. That is after the Craftsman at Chesterfield Fence and Deck build your dream deck or your custom sunroom or your beautiful pergola. Carol Daniel here. Chesterfield Fence and Deck built our bronze aluminum fence, and it is still standing, still gorgeous, still framing our backyard beautifully, and still keeping the geese out. I love the wonderful customer service, and you will too. They'll come to your house, they'll measure, they'll even bring examples of the product they plan to use on your screen room or your retaining wall, or or your vinyl fence. It's a free in-home estimate and free project design at no obligation. Transform your backyard, my friends, and transform your family with a call to Chesterfield Fence and Deck, 636-532-4054, or see pictures of their work online at chesterfieldfence.com. In the month of April, mention my name, Carol Daniel, and you get 48 months interest-free financing on your next outdoor project with Chesterfield Fence and Deck. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching your kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, trunk lids, license plate holders, and headlights. They've got lots of headlights. When you need parts, get it right the first time with eBay Guaranteed Fit. When you see the check, you know that part's going to fit. eBay Motors. Let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Yes, we do have availability. Those dates for how many guests?
Andrea's Boutique Hotel is the destination to tie the knot.
Oh, you want the whole property?
She needs an assistant to catch the bookings bouquets.
249 guests, huh? Oh, and 3 dogs.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
If you're in the market for a luxury vehicle and you haven't checked out Genesis, you are missing out. Head to Genesis of St. Charles and find the great selection of Genesis SUVs and sedans, including the G90. Motor Trend Car of the Year, they call it the best luxury car on the market. Genesis of St. Charles, currently housed in the St. Charles Hyundai showroom while their new showroom is being built. Just a quarter mile east of Mid-Rivers Mall Drive off 70 or online at genesisofstcharles.com.
Yes, with inflation, interest rate increases, and a possible recession looming, we are no doubt facing uncertain times in the housing market. But as a realtor with over 20 years of experience, I can tell you, if you're thinking of selling your home, now more than ever, you need a realtor to help you through these times while saving you money. Hi, I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty, and we offer all of this for only 4%. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444.
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
Connect with KMOX on air, online, 1120 a.m., 98.7 FM, KMOX.com.
Couple of degenerates. How are we degenerates? What do you call us?
Or as they say in Home Alone, as they say in French, les incompetents.
Yeah, that's us.
Yeah.
Amy Marks, Kors, and Chris Ranji on tax day. Dave Simons will be joining us in a moment. If you're like us,
yeah,
a couple of people who are just not on top of it, filing your taxes the day of, then this is going to be for you.
Dave Simons is at 10:30, and it'll be a great segment because I think I'm going to ask him a lot of jail questions.
Jail questions.
Yeah.
We'll ask him. What do I have to do to get by? Do I have to make friends?
Is it
Do I need to start a fight?
If I'm late, is it called tax evasion? Or do you have to actively try to evade taxes? What if you're just sitting there?
What can you claim? I just didn't know. I didn't know. I'm
well,
sorry.
Ignorance is no excuse in the law's eyes, but
Catherine joining us on KMOX. Good morning, Catherine.
Hello. I don't want you guys to feel bad, but I filed my taxes for last year in December.
Oh, great.
Is that even
here
legal?
we go with this.
Yes, it's legal. And then the tax person did not pick them up, I don't think, until January. So we just file extensions. I'm doing it again. I'm not going to do it in December, but I'm filing an extension for this year. I just can't do it. I've got, I'm studying German. It takes up a lot of time.
Sorry, I can't do my
This
taxes.
lady.
I'm learning German.
Are you? This
It
woman,
takes up a lot of time.
Catherine's like, oh, I got my taxes done last year,
Yeah.
and I'm studying German.
I did my taxes so early. I have learned German.
What else you doing? You
To
working
kill
on
time.
SpaceX too? What
You
else,
have
Catherine?
no idea how difficult that language is.
Well, my last name is Mark Scores. It's in the family genes, and I don't even know German.
Oh well, thanks a lot, Catherine.
It is a
for-
hard language.
Catherine just called in just to make us
I
feel
know.
like hell.
I filed my taxes so early. I had time to learn German waiting for tax day.
What a hero. What a hero that Catherine was doing her taxes in December. You don't even get your documents until January or February.
Yeah, how do you do your taxes in December?
I don't know.
And I'm pretty sure I have I don't know where my documents are.
I think
there's a box and it's
you
got
know what?
important stuff in it.
I don't want to say this, but
Yeah.
listen, turn the radio down because I got to
Okay.
say something to Amy.
Yeah.
I think somebody needs to look into Catherine.
You're like, how?
I think the IRS needs to make a phone call.
What if she was doing her taxes for December for
The
previous year?
That's it. There's no way she's on top of it.
The latest I ever did my taxes was September.
Amy.
But I don't know if that's
Wait for the year before.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because it was tax day in April.
You've never not filed an extension. I don't
No,
think I've
no,
ever
no, no.
filed.
No.
I
have not filed an extension. And in
Because
those
you
years,
forgot.
I was just late. The extension is the on-time version of me. Like the fact that I got the extension in this morning, I mean, I'm checking off my to-do list. I can sit back and relax for a while now.
You know, let's crap on somebody else for a minute.
Okay.
How in the world?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
How in the world, Amy, do you end up? I don't know if this is a common thing or not, but how do you end up in contempt because your office did not send an attorney to a trial?
Well, again, we're talking about St. Louis Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner. And as you know, she's been embroiled in controversy and scandal. The Attorney General is trying to have her removed from office because of what they're calling gross incompetence. Multiple times on some of the highest profile homicide cases, Officer David Dorn, retired Officer David Dorn, Officer Tamaris Bohannon, police officers who were murdered, other high profile homicide cases. The prosecutor just didn't show up for court. You have the defendant, you have the victims' families, you have the judge, you have juries, you have everyone there, but the prosecutor does not show up. So this is the controversy surrounding the circuit attorney. And yesterday, a judge threatened to put St. Louis Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner in contempt of court because no one showed up for a murder case yesterday. Like you would think in the middle of this, you'd think things are going poorly. People are saying I'm incompetent. I better have a prosecutor show up to this murder case. Nope. No one from her office showed up yesterday. It is beyond belief. And that's why it's funny. Kevin Killeen reported, when this whole case facing the circuit attorney, saying it's difficult to remove her from office because it's hard to show willful neglect versus just incompetence. And that's what's so amazing to me is that everyone looking at Kim Gardner and her office is saying it is way more likely that you're trying to be this bad than that you're actually trying to do your job and you are this bad. She's so bad, we feel like you have to at least be trying to be this profoundly and deeply inept at your job.
Now, let me add another layer to this, which is even more alarming. Last week, we got the news of Natalia Ogurkowicz, and I hope I pronounced that correctly, and if not, I apologize, who worked for that office and resigned last week. In an interview with the Riverfront Times, she said that there were court filings done on her behalf and on the behalf of lower level attorneys who had no idea what was being filed under their names and bar number. She says that among the filings made by executive staff, dismissing cases without knowledge of the staff attorney handling the case, even though the staff attorney's signature is on the paperwork being filed.
Unbelievable.
So work is being done on the behalf of attorneys who don't know what work is being done on their behalf? That cannot possibly be common. There's no way that's a real thing.
It is inexplicable and incomprehensible how incompetent and negligent Kim Gardner's office is.
Amy,
Gardner
Mark
is.
Scores, Chris Ranji, we have tax problems. You do too, hopefully, so we feel like we're in the boat together. Dave Simons to help us next on KMOX.
Charlie Brennan here. Last year, Beth and I discovered water in the ceiling near the chimney in the front of our house. we immediately called Morelli Tuck Pointing, St. Louis's premier tuck pointer since 1991. The Morelli team then tuck pointed the front and the rear chimneys above the roof and spot tuck pointed below the roof. Morelli used a waterproof mortar that perfectly matched the existing mortar. Then the guys re-cemented the cap, sealed the flashing, and waterproofed the chimney. They then cleaned up so you could never tell any work was done. The Brennans no longer see any water in our front room, and I think if you live in a brick or stone home in need of repair, call the company that's received the Angie's List Super Service Award every year, back to back to back since 2005. Morelli, winner of the BBB Torch Award. Check out their reviews on the Google, Angie's List, and Better Business Bureau websites. MorelliTuckPointing.com, 314-645-1387.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at LanceDruryLaw.com.
Are you tired of paying fees and commissions year after year, even when you lose your money? How would you like to decrease fees and limit your risk? Join me, Ben Coons, for the Retirement and Income Radio Show, heard here every Saturday at 3 p.m. on KMOX Radio. You can also call me now for your complimentary retirement and income book at 844-513-SAFE. That's 844-513-7233.
What a beautiful spring. Hi, I'm Tim Gamma from Gamma Tree Experts. Your property value is as much about your landscape as it is your home. The trees and shrubs that grow along with you and your family are valuable assets that deserve care and protection. Call our team of certified arborists to inspect your valuable trees and shrubs today. Knowledge and quality are hallmarks of our reputation. For pruning, fertilization, or removal, call today at 725-6159 or visit us at gammatree.com. Your trees deserve the best care.
At 10:30, we have sunny skies and 61 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Carol Daniel. As you heard on KMOX, that pause by Southwest Airlines has been lifted. One of two Iowa teenagers charged in the beating of a high school teacher has pleaded guilty in the case. CBS News correspondent Jim Krasula has more.
Willard Miller changed his plea to guilty, admitting that he served as a lookout while a second team fatally beat their 66-year-old Spanish teacher. The body of Nohema Graber was found in a park in Fairfield, Iowa in November of 2021. Prosecutors say the two teens beat the teacher with a bat in an attack prompted by a dispute over grades.
Prosecutors agreed to recommend a sentence between 30 years and life in prison as part of the agreement with Miller. 150,000 residents of Jackson, Mississippi have been without trash pickup for nearly 3 weeks after the city's contract with a private company expired the first of the month. The Jackson City Council is set to vote on a proposed contract with a new private trash collector. While St. Louis recorded a record number of stolen Kias and Hyundais over the past year, it seems car thefts are a major problem statewide. According to the National Insurance Crime Bureau, Missouri is second in the nation with 15 out of every 1,000 registered vehicles stolen. That's a 13% increase over the previous year. The most stolen vehicle is the Chevrolet pickup. Honda Civics and Accords ranked third and fourth. The state with the highest rate of stolen vehicles is Colorado. Lululemon says it's now selling shirts made from tiny plant-based organisms instead of fossil fuels. They are comprised of at least 50% biologically sourced nylon, 40% recycled polyester. The price is about the same, $78 for a men's version and $68 for women. The company says its goal is to make 100% of its products with sustainable materials by 2030. There is police activity to watch for. That is 270 south to Doherty Ferry Road. The right lane is closed in that location. And the KMOX forecast for this afternoon, partly sunny skies. We have a chance for rain this afternoon. Look for a high of 75. Partly cloudy tonight, the low 58. Windy and warmer tomorrow, the high 83. Right now it's sunny and 61 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Carol Daniel, KMOX News.
Behind every great fortune lies a great crime. But what poisonous secret lies under one of the nation's most prestigious universities? Uncover the crime at the heart of Stanford University and the new true crime series, Bitter Academia.
After a while, Jade Stanford learns that when this much money is at stake, you cannot really trust anyone.
Listen on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Countdown to Earth Day. Just 4 days to go. Phones, tablets, and computers can be sold secondhand and disposed of at e-waste facilities. When we each share our one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
Broadcasting from the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
Spark St. Louis is the newest collaborative co-working office space located in the PwC Pennant Building at Ballpark Village. Spark supports local entrepreneurs and corporate professionals and features over 80 private offices, day pass options, monthly networking events, conference room, and special event amenities, while offering an innovative approach to city life where you can live, work, and watch the Cardinals play all within the neighborhood at Ballpark Village. Schedule your tour today by visiting Spark St. Louis online at spark-stl.com.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Roger, tell us about your experience working with 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
We just had a very fine experience with the work that 3-Day Kitchen and Bath had done on our home. They had taken out walls and put in a new kitchen and a new bath, and did it in an extremely timely manner with some of the finest workers that we've been associated with. Easy to work with. They did what we asked them to do. And each of the subs that they had, whether it was putting in the bath, the shower stalls, and they came in a timely manner. The plumber was here on time. The electricians were here when they said they would be here, and things just worked out really well for us. And I've done it myself, and it'll probably take me 2 years.
It's about time.
3 days or less
at 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Hi, I'm Paul Goldschmidt. Hi, I'm Miles Michaelis.
I'm Adam Wainwright, and you're listening to the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
It's the Cards and Diamondbacks tonight. Emeren Total Access 550. First pitch 6:45.
KMOX is Cardinals Radio.
Amy Marks, Kors, and Chris Ranji on KMOX. It is tax day. It is April 18th. And, if you're like us, you might be looking for some last-minute tips. Joining us to talk about that and any sort of tax implications is Dave Simon, Senior Vice President of Wealth Management at UBS Financial Services, also the host of Dollars and Cents here on KMOX. Dave, good morning. Amy and I are going to prison.
Yeah, I think we are.
That's what it sounds like, but I would come and visit you guys. I would.
I wanted you to say, no, you're going to be okay. We've got this handled. Instead, you said, yeah, we'll bring you cookies.
Well, here's the trade-off. If Amy gives me running and marathon advice, I will come and visit. So that'll be the deal. All right.
That works.
You develop a running plan for me.
I mean, I can, Dave. Honestly, I was hoping that you could keep me out of prison somehow.
Well,
that was going to be a question.
Let me ask you this. If you, in the past, when you have filed taxes, do you typically get a refund or do you owe something?
I have never gotten a refund.
Okay.
For me, it's both.
I have always owed. Yeah.
Here's why I asked that. If you are getting a refund, honestly, the government doesn't care if you file. I mean, that's just a hidden little secret.
Yeah.
Because the latest data that we have from 2019, believe it or not, $1.5 billion went unclaimed in refunds that Americans were entitled to.
Wow.
They just didn't file, so they didn't get a refund, and the Treasury and the IRS is like, okay, you're lost. Now, if you owe, it becomes a little bit more problematic. There are some penalties. It can be as little as a few $100s into tens of thousands, depending on how long you wait. Jail time is only reserved for those who flagrantly say, I'm never filing, I'm never paying. It's unconstitutional. What happened back in 1913, you get all these conspiratorial type things. Those are the folks who are due jail time.
Well, there goes our bit.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Dave. That was our argument, was the 1913 Constitution thing.
We were just going to sit here for 3 hours and talk about how we're going to prison, and now I guess we can't do that.
Yeah, it makes for a good story, but no, you guys will have to keep your day job. You're not going to jail.
I will say this as well, Dave. Before I had this job at KMOX and I was self-employed and I was tutoring and writing, doing all my taxes, was a little bit different and what you can write off as a business expense and what you can't. And I remember, I think I had one technical write-off. I don't know. I was so scared of going to jail. So my tax guy was like, are you sure there's nothing that you bought for the business? I'm like, well, I did buy this $59 printer on Amazon that I use like solely for work. I only use it for work. And he's like, well, you can write that off. So he writes it down and he's like, do you have the receipt? And I said, no, because I bought on Amazon and I don't know, I wasn't a Prime member. It just somehow I wasn't sure that I could track it. And he said, he's like, okay, well, ideally it's best if you have some type of receipt for that. And I was freaking out and I told him to take it off the paper. And he goes, I don't want to seem cavalier, but I'm pretty sure the IRS is not going to come after
Chase
you,
you down for
a
$59
$59 printer that you wrote off as a writer.
They have their algorithms that red flag certain things, and I believe a $59 business expense is not producing a red flag. I think you're okay.
I'm going to do the thing that Amy does all the time where I use you as a personal, I need advice from you, and it's a very specific thing and doesn't apply to literally anybody else, only to me. She does this all the time. No, but honestly, this is a thing I really wasn't aware of. I know that for the last couple of years, I've gotten a health insurance. I guess they call it a 1095. And I didn't even know what that was up until a few years ago. What does that even mean for people?
Well, is that from your HSA? Is that what that's referring to?
Oh, great question, Dave. I don't know.
I thought it was for your health insurance.
I thought it said 1095A. And it was because there was a time last year where I had gotten insurance through the marketplace.
Yeah.
I had somebody do that for me and they did it. And then I started working here and then we have different insurance now, but for the first half of the year.
Well, a couple of health insurance related tax items is, yes, a lot of times what we get for those of us who participate in an HSA is it will just show the amount that you put aside into an HSA. That's typically not reportable, but it does elicit a tax document that you just kind of file away. But another one is, did you take money out of the HSA, which can be reportable? Another big one, and this does not apply to many people, but if you had a serious issue, a health issue where you spent a lot of money, and let's say you paid a lot of out-of-pocket stuff above and beyond insurance, that can be written off. Although I will tell you guys, since they raised the standard deduction to very large numbers, very few people now even itemize. You really have to either give away a ton of money to charity or have major health expenses or have a business with huge write-offs. Like the $59 thing that you talked about, Amy, that wouldn't even come up in a conversation today because the standard deduction now, 85% of Americans don't even itemize anymore because the standard deduction is so much higher.
Wow. Yeah, I actually worried about that printer for like 6 months.
Oh my God.
I thought I was going to go to jail.
Oh my God, you're unbelievable.
I know, because you know what happens when you're not used to breaking the law, you don't know how to commit crime. You're always afraid of accidentally committing crime.
Oh my gosh, Miss Goody Two Shoes! Holy cow! So worried about the little thing.
I know, because that's what gets you. Okay, Dave, what is one of the biggest mistakes people make today on tax day?
Well, honestly, it's not looking at potential write-offs. And I had just mentioned that most people don't even do that anymore. But any tax preparer, and I am not an official tax preparer, I'm more on the financial and investing side, but I do have to get actively involved this time of year to help clients. But that's what I will notice. And it's just like, Amy, just like your person a while back even said, anything. Well, I had this 59. Oh, yeah, thank you. Let's bring it on. A lot of times that can add up for people. Mm-hmm. They don't know that it's written off. So that's probably the biggest, I guess, mistake that people make, is not really getting what they're entitled to. But like I said, that's not as big of an issue anymore with the higher standard deduction. Oh, and the other thing too, honestly, throughout the year is not taking more advantage of reducing taxes through higher 401k contributions or people who qualify to make deductible IRA contributions. So this isn't really an April 15th or in this case, April 18th thing. This is a year-long process that people need to be aware of to lower their taxes throughout the year.
How did cryptocurrency and all of that complicate the tax season?
Oh man, isn't that something now when you file your taxes? That's a new question on the forms, isn't it? Did you take any cryptocurrency losses? Well, it's not considered an asset or an investment like a stock or a bond, so it is taxed in a different way. And typically people don't get the same kind of write-offs that they do if you took a big loss in a stock. So that's going to have to be regulated in some way. The government really doesn't know what to do with this newfangled thing. They don't know how to regulate it. They don't know how to define it. And the IRS kind of throws up their hands and says, okay, we'll have to put it over in this category. But I think that's going to change. I think the government finally realizes this is a real thing, and it will probably eventually be lumped in as like regular stocks and bonds when it comes to taxes.
On a day like this, I know that there are a lot of people scrambling. It's not just us. Is there any sort of general advice you can give to people if they have waited till the last minute, like Amy and I have?
Well, I get back to what I said at the beginning, Chris. It really depends on if you filed your taxes or at least you're getting close to know, am I paying a refund? Or am I getting a refund, or I'm actually owing more to the IRS? If you're getting a refund, don't feel like you have to get this thing filed or dropped off at the post office by midnight tonight. Relax. You could actually file it tomorrow, and there should not be any penalties coming your way. If you owe money, my advice is keep working on that. And if you know that you can't get it done, it's very easy to file an extension. There is no penalty in doing that. But here's the catch. I hope everyone's listening here. There's no penalty for filing an extension to just file the form. You still have to pay tax by midnight tonight. There's a big difference. So if you're still not even sure what you owe, you can at least pay something, even if it's a little bit more, by midnight tonight, and then file your taxes. And if you ended up paying a little bit more today, you'd get a bit of a refund. But big difference. You still have to pay it today to avoid tax, but the form can be filed later on as long as you file for an extension.
This is more information than I want to share with the public, but I'm going to.
Here we go.
I had
That's what I just thought to myself. All right, go ahead.
Because the box of important information is somewhere, and I texted my dad about it last night. I couldn't really guesstimate what I owe or how many forms I have that are out there that need to be turned in. So I filed for an extension this morning, and my tax lady said, you just need to pay this much. And it was a minimum amount. I thought it was a fee, but I guess it's not a fee. Was that me paying the minimum amount of taxes to count as paying something? And then we'll go back and figure out what I actually owe?
That's exactly what it sounds like, Amy. So once again, no jail time, no likely, very unlikely any kind of penalty, but that's exactly what it sounds like. And that gets back to what I had just said. You needed to pay something, and hopefully as close to what the final number is going to be today, and then you worry about filing the actual forms later as long as the extension is put in. So, yep, your tax person did the right thing.
Yes, that's what she said. It would count towards the taxes that I inevitably owe, and I paid a little, and I know it was not close to what I owe.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
You at least met the IRS halfway, it sounds like.
That's right.
And they're okay. They're okay with that.
We're just so ridiculous.
Is this, I wonder if like everyone listening sounds like we're just on a phone call with our tax guy. I don't know if we were supposed to ask you other questions.
You know what? My next question I have for Dave, I'll just give it to him off the air.
Yeah. I mean, literally, that's where we're at. I could start giving you numbers at this point.
But you know what? You know how many people listening right now are shaking their heads in agreement, going, "Yep, that's me. That's me. That's me." We've got the numbers. Most people really do. Wait, listen. I owe me in the financial services industry who knows all this. Have I officially filed my taxes? No. I am literally, because I owe. Why am I going to give the government money before I need to? Now, I have completed my taxes online. I just haven't sent it officially in, and I will do that later this afternoon. I love waiting to the last possible minute before these people get my money.
That is the best I have felt in 2 weeks.
Yeah, we buried the lead with that one. No, thank you so much, Dave. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Anytime, guys. You have a wonderful rest of your day.
You too.
That is Dave Simons, Senior Vice President of Wealth Management at UBS Financial Services, host of Dollars and Cents, and a great resource, personal resource for Amy and me.
I love that this is who we are because, as you mentioned, we're very different. So different that in times we have to remind each other that we still like each other. And yet, look at us.
Couple of losers. Did you see this? Next on KMOX.
Well, St. Charles Hyundai, man, they are ready to sell you a car. They have aggressive goals they want to reach, and so they're super motivated to get cars off the lot and make you a great deal. And right now, they're offering 0% APR financing on select Hyundai models through May 1st. That's right. Through May 1st. I was just at St. Charles Hyundai last week. Did you know they are the number 1 volume Hyundai dealership since 2015 in the Metro St. Louis area? And when you visit their beautiful building, that won't be surprising at all. They just completed a new state-of-the-art Hyundai building. You can come see it. They're putting the final touches on it. It's absolutely gorgeous. And what I love about St. Charles Hyundai is the huge repeat customer base, grandparents, parents, kids, generational customers who buy at St. Charles Hyundai because the employees, the managements, the sales representatives, they've been there a long time. When I visited with them last week, I literally said, it's kind of like KMOX. You have familiar names and voices like Carol Daniel, Debbie Monterey, Kevin Killeen. When you go to St. Charles Hyundai, you know the names, you know the faces, and there's a lot of assurance in that. They are one of the last true family-owned and operated dealerships. And as I mentioned, man, their new building is gorgeous, and there's 0% APR financing on select Hyundai models through May 1st, so you do not want to wait. St. Charles Hyundai is located a quarter mile east of Mid Rivers Mall Drive, just off Highway 70, or you can visit them at stcharleshyundai.com.
You wouldn't trust a butcher to babysit your pet pig. You wouldn't trust a lumberjack to repair your antiques. Or a professional wrestler to be your massage therapist. So why would you trust anyone but AMCO to fix your car? For over 50 years, we've been the trusted experts in transmission repair.
AMCO offers easy payment plan options for most any credit situation, so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow at AMCO.
AA MCO.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
Hi, this is Arnold, owner of the Good Feet store. Do you hate standing on concrete floors because of foot, knee, or low back pain?
I couldn't stand on hard surfaces. The pain would get so severe that I couldn't stand it.
Tired of living in pain?
I wanted to take off my shoes as soon as I got home every day.
You need comfort in your life.
Now I have no foot pain and I can wear any dress shoe that I want.
Good Feet fits in all your shoes. Ladies, you can now be comfortable in your favorite high heels. Good Feet. No shots, no surgery, no medication.
Call 314-317-9494 or visit one of our 2 locations on Olive west of I-270 in the plaza with Subway or in Shiloh, Illinois across from Dearborn.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Individual results may vary. Consult your physician for medical conditions. Visit the website goodfeetstlewis.com. Come in and try the Good Feet feeling today. Comfort, energy, performance, and pain relief at the Good Feet store.
Join your St. Louis Symphony Orchestra for Marvel Studios' Black Panther in concert. Experience a full throttle blast of action and fun as you relive the excitement of T'Challa becoming King of Wakanda. Get your tickets today to see your SLSO perform Ludwig Göransson's Oscar and Grammy-winning score live to the film, May 12th and 13th. Tickets at slso.org. Presentation licensed by Disney Concerts.
Men, if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction or PE and frustrated taking pills that don't work, Paramount Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough medical treatments that effectively treat your problem. 98% of patients experience immediate results during their first office visit. And for a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Brown. The physicians at Paramount Men's Medical Center offer the most advanced treatments that eliminate ED and PE. Now men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
Guys, to eliminate your frustration in the bedroom, call Paramount Men's Medical Center now to take advantage of this exclusive limited-time offer. Your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free, and you'll see instant results right in the office. Call now, 314-720-8081. 314-720-8081. That's 314-720-8081.
The Biz Dash is St. Louis's healthiest happy hour, combining fitness, company, team bonding, and fun. All levels of runners and walkers welcome. Thursday, May 25th at City Park in downtown St. Louis. Create your company team today at stlbizdash.com.
Track your blood donations right from the palm of your hand and stay updated on special promotions. Download the American Red Cross Blood Donor app today. To learn more, go to redcross.org.
This is the show. The show continues on KMOX.
Did you see that thing? I can't believe it. Something is obviously wrong.
This is a joke, right?
Oh my God. Are you freaking kidding me? No way.
You gotta be kidding me. Don't feel bad. There's no way you could have known that.
Now, did you see this with Chris and Amy on the show?
Ron, I don't know if you saw this, but a man is suing Netflix for more than $1 million after it used his photo in an unrelated true crime documentary. The true crime documentary tells the story of, quote, the hatchet-wielding hitchhiker. So the hatchet-wielding hitchhiker is the name of the documentary. They flash a photo of this guy, Taylor Hazelwood, who has no connection to this true crime story at all. And the subtitle says, is this a guardian angel or a stone cold killer? And the only reason he knew that this documentary used his picture, his friends texted him after the documentary aired, like, WTF, can you explain this? What's going on? Are you kidding? Did you not know you were in this documentary? So somehow...
Is this the smash guy?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Somehow they used Taylor Hazelwood's picture. Maybe they found it online and thought it looked similar enough. And he is holding a hatchet in the picture. And he said that's because there was a movie or a book that he liked when he was a kid called Hatchet, his favorite childhood book.
Oh.
So he has this picture with his friend's hatchet, but because he also looks like this killer, Netflix mistakenly used it in a documentary.
So he is the killer or is not?
No, he's not. He's just a guy. He's got nothing to do with it.
Because I watched that.
Oh, did you?
I watched that documentary, yeah. And I was like, oh, that guy's a murderer? Because he was a hero. He was a web star for, like, months.
Yeah, because he saved someone and then killed someone.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Well, this guy has nothing to do with it.
Jim Merkel has written a book about South City, St. Louis, and we're going to talk with him in studio next on KMOX.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
What if you could do business without busy work? With Ramp, you can. Ramp is the future of finance with smart automation, corporate cards, and spend management. Just imagine, no more expense reports or shuffling wrinkled receipts. No more slogging through invoices or getting surprised by unexpected charges. Just your business's big idea with smart spend controls, automation that crushes busy work, and real-time insights so you can make it happen. In other words, Ramp completely reimagined finance to make it work for your business. Get set up, issue corporate cards, and start making payments in less than 15 minutes. See how Ramp does finance. Join today and get $250 just for signing up. Just go to ramp.com/finance. That's ramp.com/finance to get $250 for signing up. That's ramp.com/finance.
I'm Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey. As the state's chief legal officer, I will enforce the laws as written.
I will hold accountable those who violate state and federal law by knowingly hiring unauthorized workers. By paying lower wages and avoiding taxes, businesses using unauthorized workers put honest ones at a competitive disadvantage. Report businesses that employ unauthorized workers at ago.mo.gov.
Brought to you by the Missouri Department of Labor and Industrial Relations.
Hi guys, it's Mark. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction? Did you know that a major medical breakthrough is now available and it isn't a pill? Today, Tuesday, we're running a one-day special you won't want to miss out on. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. It's backed by 60 clinical studies, including from Cambridge. If you're ready to regain the spark in your bedroom, today is your day. Call us now, and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. You'll also get a gift that can produce rapid and powerful results in the bedroom in minutes. You're going to love that one, guys. Trust me. And today only, we're offering 6 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is an unprecedented offer worth hundreds of dollars, but call today and qualify totally free. Call 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your life back. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 314-530-7777.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR St. Louis.
The legendary voice of St. Louis, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Spring has sprung and we're ready for you at St. Louis Composting. This year, skip the garden center mayhem and conveniently order your compost, garden soil, or mulch for delivery straight to your home. Online at stocompost.com. That's stocompost.com.
Progressive can help you protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, and RV, and more. And if something wasn't mentioned that you had in mind, find out if it can be covered at progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE, because it probably can.
Awarded 2023 Large Market Radio Station of the Year by the Missouri Broadcasters Association, KMOX.
At 11 o'clock, we've got sun and 63 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun. Our top story this hour. Southwest Airlines says planes are taking off again after departures were held up because of what the airline calls an intermittent technical problem. The airline says a firewall supplied by a vendor went down and connection to some operational data was lost. The airline is apologizing to travelers whose flights have been delayed. Last week's resignation of another prosecutor from the St. Louis Circuit Attorney's Office leaves just 3 assistant circuit attorneys to handle the backlog of felony cases. Reaction from Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey.
Well, I think it's a dangerous situation for the entire region and specifically for the people of the city of St. Louis. You know, she has failed, unlawfully refused to do her job. And the statute requires that she bears responsibility for the performance of her office, not anybody else.
This afternoon, a judge will hear arguments in the pretrial hearing in Bailey's case that seeks to remove Gardner from office. Bailey wants the judge to set a trial date as soon as possible, and Gardner is asking the judge to dismiss the case. If Gardner is removed, St. Louis Board President Megan Green does not believe Missouri Governor Mike Parson would choose a new circuit attorney that would act in the interests of the city.
We see our state government become more and more hostile to folks who live in the city of St. Louis.
When asked if she'll focus on crime prevention this year, Green said, quote, "Our hands are tied by Republicans in Jefferson City who have prohibited us from putting in place any local restrictions on guns," close quote. KMOX's Phil Brooks is at the Missouri Capitol reporting on a Senate measure to restrict minors from drag shows that was dropped.
The measure prompted a fascinating discussion between the amendment sponsor, rural Republican conservative Mike Moon, and the Senate's only public gay member, Jackson County's Greg Razor.
Do you know anybody that performs drag? I do not. I'm pretty sure that they know the difference between a midnight crowd at a bar and a crowd at a city park that has kids there.
Ultimately, Moon withdrew his proposal, but a similar measure is moving in the House.
CBS News correspondent Jim Kursula has a look at a new report on America's rivers.
The Colorado River in the Grand Canyon is the nation's most threatened river for the second consecutive year. That's according to an annual report from the nonprofit advocacy group American Rivers. The group says the Colorado River is at risk because of the region's overuse of its water.
The KMOX Business Desk, the new Bass Pro Shops in Sunset Hills should be open soon, and a new hotel could soon be popping up next door. Brentwood Hotels hopes to build a Hampton Inn by Hilton behind Helen Fitzgerald's. According to the Business Journal, that developer recently opened a Comfort Suites that replaced the demolished Days Inn there. The Dow from Stifel down 67 points to 33,920. We've got emergency vehicles on 270 South at Ladue. Actually, that feed is old, so we'll have to get you some more traffic next time.
KMOX AccuWeather, breezy, mild with sun, some clouds mixing in. I can't rule out a thunder shower popping up in a few spots later this afternoon, this evening. High 75, back down to 58 tonight. Windy, warmer up in the low to mid-80s tomorrow, and then strong to severe thunderstorms later Thursday. Mid-70s before those hit. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Dean DeVore, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
It's a sunny sky, 62 in Florissant, 62 in St. Peters, and 63 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Hello Garage elevates your garage, adding additional entertainment space for graduation parties or other summer get-togethers you have planned. In as little as 48 hours, get organized and start planning that party. Visit them online at hellogarage.com.
The show, sponsored by the Cardinals. Cardinal tickets for 2023 are on sale now and start at just $6. Info at cardinals.com.
Amy and Chris on KMOX. Mark Scores and Ranji. Hello. It is hour 2 of the show. Major Garrett will be with us at noon. He is with us in studio for the entire hour from noon to 1 till it's the Dave Glover crossover hour at 1 o'clock. We are joined in studio by Jim Merkel, who is the author of a new book coming out. In fact, it'll be available May 15th. It's called Walking South City, A Journey Through Historic St. Louis Neighborhoods. Again, available May 15th, pre-order at readypress.com, Amazon, and some local bookstores. And Jim is in studio with us this morning on KMOX. Jim, thanks for coming in.
Hi, like I was saying before now, I love coming here. I've enjoyed when I drive around listening to your show. So
well, that makes one.
We got a listener.
Maybe 2. I think my mom listens.
Wow.
My mom listens
Does
to
not.
some of it.
Yeah.
She listens to some off and on. I'll go, she said she listens, and then I'll say, did you hear this? And she'll go, I must have missed that.
Yeah.
And I love the laughing.
Why,
oh, well, I'm
thanks.
glad. So that makes one.
Yeah. Can I laugh too?
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go. So you walked 45 miles.
45
right?
miles in if you looked at the map, and I'm trying to make a map, but it's pretty hard. I just all over the place. I went one way, and then I zigzagged back, and I went down and up, and it's somebody, when I tried to make a map, they laughed at it. But it's, like we talk about historic neighborhoods, and there are the neighborhoods where the really rich people live, say like Lafayette Square. I mean, this was the movers and the shakers, but we also have, let's face it, all of South St. Louis is old, which makes it historic. So you have Dutchtown, and you have my Bevo Mill neighborhood house, which was built in 1908. That's old, but it's not. And besides that, just to make it fun, I mean, I didn't just want to go, you see these books, and there's all, here is this nice house, here's this nice house, here's this nice house, and Mrs. Jones lived here. I thought it would be fun just to show what you see. Like you walk and you see an Aldi shopping cart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you see the building where I spent 15 years of my life working for the Suburban Journals. And I talk about how things were, and then I go on and I talk about, I talk about the goofy box where somebody painted black and had goofy eyes on it, and that's in there. So it's it was a lot of fun. I think people will learn a tremendous amount about St. Louis, and they'll have some fun reading it.
Absolutely. Well, we were just talking about what is South City? What neighborhoods comprise South City? And you said in your mind and in the book, it goes up to Highway 40. That's the northern border. Of course, it includes Lafayette Square, Soulard, Benton Park, The Hill, the Grove. How far west does it go? What's the western border of
city
South
limit.
City? Okay.
The city
all the way
limits.
down to the city
right.
limit.
Although, practically, it goes along this route. And in this, I started on January 16th of 2021. I went along. I went down on Gravois to Chippewa, and then my next thing, I went Chippewa down to Jameson, and then so forth. So, and it isn't everything. But it's it's a lot of it.
Yeah. How long did it take you to walk all of those miles?
4:00 p.m. New Year's Eve, 2021. My idea was to do it within a year, and I wound up right near Highway 40, right where there's a pedestrian bridge across the highway. And so, we just ran out of space, and so that's where we ended.
So why did you decide to do that? Had you done that before, where you had walked an entire section of the area?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I had talked about just going along about ending where we began on the beginning of Gravois, but we didn't. It just my boss said no, and he, being my boss, Josh Stevens, God love him, he would say, why didn't you include the hill? And I said, oh. And so I did that, but turning, I had to just rip up all of this map I had created and start over. And so we would do this, and he says, well, you're bending too much, go straight. And so it took weeks and weeks to really come up with this map.
What were you most surprised by when you were walking around this entire area?
Well, the fact that there is a big area of South City. You say, oh, the city is done, but there's a big area of South City that's really wonderful. You think, okay, it's just Cherokee Street, Soulard. I love Lafayette Square, even though I can't live there. The Grove, then Tam, then we have the Hill. Oh, I love that. I love that fountain. And then, oh my gosh, and I have we have the Shaw Garden, the all that stuff, and then and there was people who were very intentional in supporting the city and supporting those areas, like Danforth, as the head of Washington University, they said, okay, we're going to stay in the city, but we want to support the middle of the city. We want to support Manchester, which became the Grove, and of course it's the other people who came in too, but it was the fact that they did this, and also the wonderful variety of neighborhoods.
What's amazing is during the pandemic, I mean, I grew up in this area. I grew up in Illinois, but I've been to St. Louis a ton growing up. My family, we always made it a point to be in Missouri, and especially St. Louis. But there are parts of this city that when I moved back in 2017, and I had been here for several years, I had heard of Dogtown, right? But I don't think I'd ever really gone through it and walked around. And then I finally did during the pandemic, and I was like, oh, all this is here.
Yeah.
You know, it's amazing in a city that's relatively small for a major city, how much you can discover you didn't know was there if you just walk around.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what you get in this book. And I've had other people say, "Oh, it's like you're taking a walk."
Yeah.
And like you look down and you say, "Oh, look at that. Look at the homeless person, who's got a sign up." That's what they do.
Yeah, and there's just, you talked about the diversity of the neighborhoods within South City, because while there is, I think, a really strong loyalty to South City, something that, a unified or monolith of South City, Dogtown feels completely different than the Grove, which is different than the
Right.
Tower Grove
Right.
neighborhood, the Shaw neighborhood, the Hill, Soulard, such distinct personalities to each one of those neighborhoods. I lived in Dogtown for a long time, absolutely loved it. But like I said, Dogtown felt different than Soulard, which is different than the Grove. And so many unique restaurants, shops, bars, grocery stores, local markets in each one of them.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's also distressed communities like Carondelet, which is people are struggling, but and also Dutchtown, but they can turn around too. And so there is when you say the city is done, look around to the south side. And I got this, of course. For 7 years I covered the south side for the South City Journal, and I got to see things close up, and like a small town paper.
Yeah, that's it. It is amazing how, and Amy is right, I think, or at least it's the feeling I get, that people who are South City have a particular, like a special bond almost.
A pride.
Yeah, there's a thing about being from South St. Louis. At least when you talk to folks who are from there, they are very prideful about that. And I think it's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah.
I like that.
Absolutely.
So the book is, again, coming out May 15th, or is the pre-order start May 15th?
No, the pre-order is now.
Now. So you can do pre-order now, but the book comes out May 15th at reedypress.com. That's REEDY press.com. At Amazon, will be available at local bookstores. It's called Walking South City, A Journey Through Historic St. Louis Neighborhoods. Jim Merkel in studio with us. Jim, we appreciate your time. Thanks for coming in.
Well, thanks for having me.
We really enjoyed it. That is Jim Merkel. And again, get that book, reedypress.com, Amazon, or local bookstores. Amy, you have a thing to tell people about?
Oh, I absolutely do. It's something you know very well. In fact, all of the fine folks at KMOX do, and that is the Ophthalmology Associates. I think the Ophthalmology Associates, Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer, I think they take care of all of the KMOX eyes. At least I'm pretty sure. Tom Ackerman, we know Chris Ranji, Debbie Monterey, we all go there. And that's because they are the best. They're the doctors' doctors. They've treated more than 250 doctors, which is more than any other practice. And one reason why we bring that up so often, it's you want to go to the people who are in the know. They know, okay, you got to go to this guy. This guy's the best. And that's who the Ophthalmology Associates are. Now, I've had issues with my eyes my entire life. I've been wearing contacts since I was 12 years old, contacts and glasses. I'm constantly staring at my computer. I've been having scratchy, dry, itchy eyes. And I thought, I don't really get allergies. What could it be? Well, I saw Dr. Birdie, and he said that I have CVS, computer vision syndrome. It's a relatively recent recognized eye problem. But the thing is, your eyes need to be continually washed by tears to keep them lubricated and working properly. And when we're staring at one spot, staring at a screen for long periods of time, we don't blink as often. We don't get that lubrication on our eyes. So Dr. Birdie gave me some helpful tips for making sure my eyes could stay lubricated, gave me some great eye drops, and now I don't have that itchy feeling in my eyes. You should see the Ophthalmology Associates and call them today at 314-966-5000 or go to youridoc.com.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to KMOX for all the news, sports, talk, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
Hi, this is Ken.
And Laurie Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
Join us Sundays at 9:30 a.m. for Your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Did you know the IRS is a super creditor? Hi, I'm Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. The IRS is the only creditor that can create a bill for you without your permission, then drop the hammer and aggressively collect it by wiping out your bank account, seizing your assets, and levying your wages. No other creditor can do that, and this can all happen without a court approval. If you owe back taxes, you need to be prepared to face the super creditor. Don't just sit back and take it. Fight back. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, we know how to use the laws to your advantage and go toe-to-toe with the IRS. Our office is located right here in St. Louis. Contact the Lance Drury Law Firm today for a free consultation with me, or visit us at lancedrurylaw.com or call 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120 to get started.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Bill talks about his experience with 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
We had 2 bathrooms. It was from the 1950s. We didn't know what to expect. We were a little skeptical that they could actually do this in that short a period of time. They did an amazing job. Brand new tub, shower, toilet, sinks, cabinetry, flooring, tile, you name it.
Were you happy with the finished product?
Very impressive. And we're just anxious to show it off to people now.
So you'd recommend 3-Day Kitchen and Bath?
Oh, absolutely. As a matter of fact, we can probably get a few more miles out of our kitchen, but, when the time comes to do that, we'll definitely call them back.
It's about time.
3 days or less.
At 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Seems like the last few years now, the violence, the hate, the anger is growing. I'm going to try to keep this as upbeat as possible, but to all the police officers, I want you to know we have your back. Not to forget about the fire or EMS, first responders, and definitely not our military. You all put your life on the line. I can't tell you, there's not a word I can say. Thank you is just not enough. And I believe 99.9% of Americans respect what you do. Do whatever you have to do to get back to your family during your shift. From my family to your family, and I think I can speak for overwhelming majority of overwhelming majority of human beings. Stay safe. And thank you for protecting us and doing what you need to do.
KMOX, the 2023 Large Market Radio Station of the Year, recognized by the Missouri Broadcasters Association. KMOX, we were built for this.
Go ahead. What?
Are you on TikTok?
No, dude. I'm not.
I know you're not. I'm not on TikTok.
I'm afraid of the spying that's done.
Yeah.
I'm actually not. I don't like TikTok that much.
Also, if you're on Instagram and you have Instagram Reels, it's basically TikTok 2 weeks late.
Yes.
You can see all the viral TikTok videos 2 weeks after everyone else has seen them.
That's right.
So Montana became the first U.S. state on Friday. They became the first U.S. state to pass legislation banning TikTok on all personal devices. Now, we know that the United States, as well as many European countries, have passed laws regarding the app TikTok on government-issued devices, smartphones, iPads, laptops, whatever it is. But in Montana, this would be personal devices, basically banning TikTok from the state. The bill passed the legislature, and it is on the desk of Governor Greg Gianforte. I think I'm saying it right. He just needs to sign it, and that would prohibit TikTok from operating within state lines. And it would also bar app stores from offering TikTok for downloads. So the Montana's House voted 54-43 to give final approval to the bill. It's SB 419. And if it is signed by the governor, it will take effect in January. It could face significant legal challenges. And here's the thing. I agree with banning TikTok on government devices, and I feel like my gut feeling is I don't think we should have TikTok in the US. I think the CCP is gathering enormous amounts of data. One tech expert put it as they have information on US citizens that would have made the KGB blush. Like, that's how much information they have. And it's not so much individual, like, oh, I see that Chris Ranji has gone to Whole Foods today. It's more of the society and collective trends, what makes us upset, what activates us, where we go, how we spend our money, societal trends that the CCP could potentially use as a geopolitical adversary to influence elections or try to influence the emotions.
Discord, which already happens by with Russia. They have done it.
That's exactly right. NetChoice is a tech industry group that is pushing back, and it's saying that this bill violates the U.S. Constitution prohibition against, quote, bills of attainder, which would be punishing someone without trial. They say other organizations like the ACLU say that it violates the First Amendment. It's a form of censorship. And to be completely honest, I kind of agree with some of their arguments as well. And so I'm torn because I feel like banning TikTok is a good thing. I feel like it's fair because it is in the hands of a geopolitical adversary. I also think the government banning apps and access to things is not great. So I'm torn. I don't know which side I fall on.
Well, I don't know if I don't know if I like the argument of I can't 100% go along with the argument of I don't like the government banning anything because I think there are, frankly, just some things that we should not have access to. We talk about it as it pertains to high velocity capacity firearms. I just don't think that people should have them. I'm not saying you shouldn't have guns. I'm saying that there are some weapons you probably shouldn't have.
Which is different than information.
It's different than information. Now, the information can be weaponized. And that's where my concern is that, okay, if they ban TikTok, I don't necessarily see that as a slippery slope where they say TikTok's banned and now we're going to move on to some other app that you like. And when we're done with that app, we're going to move on to another thing that you don't like. I don't think it's necessarily that. I think that they would pinpoint particularly egregious apps that are gathering data and are then therefore given to the Chinese government because they did pass a law 6 years ago that they have to that companies, private companies in China have to turn over anything to the Chinese government that government deems to be of national security concern. So if they can gather just huge amounts of American citizen data and then use that against us, whether it's in information wars or whatever else, maybe it should be gone.
And this is where I feel like the Montana legislature messed up. I have the bill in front of me. I read SB Bill 419. There's a lot of whereases. Whereas the People's Republic of China is an adversary of the United States, blah, blah, blah. Whereas the People's Republic of China exercises control and oversight over ByteDance, like other Chinese corporations, and can direct the company to share user information, blah, blah. All of the whereases refer to TikTok and the People's Republic of China and all the threats that you mentioned. There's one whereas where I think, boom, this is where the problem is. Whereas TikTok fails to remove and may even promote dangerous content that directs minors to engage in dangerous activities, including but not limited to throwing objects at moving automobiles, taking excessive amounts of medication, lighting a mirror on fire and then attempting to extinguish it using only one's body parts, cooking chicken in NyQuil, and so forth.
That's not national security.
That is not national security. Right. And to me, that muddies the waters because YouTube has those things. Instagram has those things. Why the Montana legislature put that one whereas paragraph that said also because it tells kids to cook chicken and NyQuil. No, you just muddied the waters.
Yeah. I agree with you. If we're strictly talking about national security, I think I'm on board with that. And I don't mean to take a iffy position, but that's how I feel about it.
I think I agree.
But as soon as you say, oh, well, this is also about kids. Well, kids are exposed to a lot. They, like you said, they have YouTube. They have other things if they want to. Yeah, you really blew it with that one. But by and large, I don't think I disagree with the overall idea.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm also selfish because I don't use TikTok and I don't care about it. And I acknowledge that too. Amy Marks, Kors, and Chris Ranji. We'll give you the birds next on KMOX.
An important message from SNL Coins. SNL Coins pays top dollar. We buy neon signs, sports memorabilia, Breweriana, silver plate, fine gold filled, antiques, and collectibles. Get a quote with a call to SNL at 544-3600 or visit SNL 9300 Gravois, just east of McKenzie. Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, Saturdays, 9 to 4. Before you sell, call SNL 544-3600.
Worldwide Technology, recognized as a great place to work for 12 years in a row, is hosting a supply chain career event on April 29th at their North American Integration Center in Edwardsville, Illinois, to connect with skilled professionals in the technology production and supply chain industries to fill dozens of roles. Positions include warehouse specialists and managers, production supervisors, configuration techs, and more. These jobs come with competitive pay, industry-leading benefits that even include your pets, and an award-winning culture with career development that gives you options to grow. Learn more and apply online at wwt.com/careers.
Did you know that how happy you are could be related to how well you hear? According to the Better Health Institute, research shows that unaddressed hearing loss is associated with depression. Studies also show that people with hearing loss who use hearing aids often have fewer depressive symptoms, they have greater social engagement, and have improved quality of life. Therefore, having your hearing tested by an experienced audiologist is extremely important. Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. I recommend you contact Dr. Colleen Bosler at the Audiology Center. Dr. Bosler is very approachable. She has a doctorate in audiology from the University of Illinois Champaign-Urbana. She carries the best performing hearing aids, and Dr. Bosler is an expert on the latest technology. Make an appointment today at one of Dr. Colleen Bosler's 3 St. Louis area offices, 636-441-7470. The Audiology Center, STL.com.
At 11:30, it's sunny and 64 degrees downtown at the Arch. Russian President Vladimir Putin has visited command posts of the Kremlin's forces fighting in Ukraine for the second time in 2 months. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, meantime, made his latest trip to positions near the front line today. A Russian court upholds the detention of an American reporter charged with espionage. Evan Gershkovich of the Wall Street Journal is seeking his release. The newspaper denies the accusation, and the U.S. State Department says he's wrongfully detained. CBS News correspondent Holly Williams has more and new reporting from the Wall Street Journal, which spoke with Gershkovich's parents.
A reporter from the United States inside a holding pen in a Moscow courtroom, and a new low in America's relations with Russia. The U.S. ambassador to Russia says she was finally allowed to visit Evan Gershkovich in prison yesterday, and he's in good health and remains strong.
Governor Kevin Stitt is calling for the resignations of 4 officials in southeast Oklahoma after a newspaper's audio recording apparently captured some of them talking of knowing hitmen and complaining about 2 of the paper's journalists. Governor Kevin Stitt said he's seeking the resignations of the McCurtain County Sheriff and 3 others. Forecast for this afternoon is sponsored by the Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company. Are you considering life insurance? Penn Mutual's accelerated client experience makes applying for life insurance fast and easy. Ask your independent advisor or go to pennmutual.com/STL. This afternoon, sun mixes with clouds. Can't rule out a thunder shower. Some spots later this afternoon. High 75. For tonight, the low 58. Tomorrow's high 83. At the moment, it's 64 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
When children were being fatally injured by window blind cords, Honor Law took on the manufacturers to have dangerous cords banned.
Call Onder Law Personal Injury Lawyers at 314 or 6189 million.
Broadcasting from the Onder Law Injury Lawyers. GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
Are you concerned about outliving your money? Well, how would you like to have guaranteed growth and a lifetime of income you may never outlive? Join me, Ben Coons, for the Retirement and Income Radio Show, heard here every Saturday at 3 p.m. on KMOX Radio. You can also call me now for your complimentary retirement and income book, at 844-513-SAFE. That's 844-513-7233.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
It's incredible. After using Babbel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Babbel. Évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Find out what's happening with your Redbirds from the manager himself, Oliver Marmol. Sunday mornings at 10:15 on Sports on a Sunday morning, and Wednesday mornings at 9:50. The Ollie Marmol Show.
I'm excited for not only the club but for the fans. This is a special year for sure.
KMOX is Cardinals Radio.
Hi, I'm Paul Goldschmidt. I'm Cardinals outfielder Lars Nootbaar.
I'm Woodson Contreras. I'm Paul DeYoung.
Now, Chris and Amy give you the birds.
I'm Jordan Hicks, and you're listening to the show on KMOX.
2-2 the count on Pavin Smith. And here comes the pitch. That ball's hammered into right center field. And back goes Nootbaar. He looks up, and it's gone. A grand slam for Pavin Smith. And he breaks the game wide open. 4 runners crossing the plate. And this game has changed in a hurry with one hanging curveball. It's 6-1 Diamondbacks.
Today's Cardinals report brought to you by Renner Garage Door, RENNER, forward and back. Family owned and top rated. Renner Doors, STL.com. That's Renner Door, STL.com. Amy and Chris on KMOX. A loss for the Cardinals last night on that. It ended up being a 6-3 final. Birds got a couple of runs in the bottom of the 8th inning, and they are still under 500. It's 7-10 on the season currently, even though you don't really look a couple of weeks into the season at the standings. But just to give you an idea where they are 5th in the National League Central right now. I don't believe that's how it's going to end up, just as I don't believe the Diamondbacks are going to be first in the National League West when the season comes to an end, but that's where they are right now. We sit here on tax day, April 18th, and I don't know, Amy, one of my concerns, my biggest concern going into the season was how the pitching staff was going to hold up, particularly how the starting rotation was going to fare. And for Jack Flaherty last night, that's okay. I mean, it's not bad. You'll take the 6 innings. You'll take the 4 runs. For all 4 of them earned. Would prefer fewer walks. He only struck out 4. He did issue 3 free passes last night. But the numbers, as far as what he's given up for the season, have been about in line of what you would expect from a good Jack Flaherty. And if he remains this, if the results remain like this for the entire season, you are looking at a legitimate top of the order rotation guy, which is what the Cardinals going into the season were, I don't want to say lacking, but that was the biggest concern, is whether or not they would have that. So I don't know. I feel okay about that the way it is now. Kind of starting to worry a little bit about the bullpen, though.
Well, here's my question, too, regarding the bullpen. The Cardinals starters have not, in general, gone very deep into their games.
Yeah.
So that taxes the bullpen early on. Is that something that could be a problem later on if every game you're dipping into the bullpen and relying on them that heavily?
Absolutely. Right now, the Cardinals in Major League Baseball, they're doing okay in terms of the amount of innings pitched. They have played 17 games. The starters have given them just over 90 innings, which is relatively speaking, it is pretty good in baseball right now. It's acceptable. It's certainly acceptable right now. But I think there have been some games. You can't just look at that number and go, oh, everything's perfectly fine. You do kind of have to look at a game-by-game basis. And you have to look at how often a starter doesn't get past a third or a fourth inning, because those games are the ones that really end up hurting you because pitchers go down then for potentially a day or two. They're getting overused in a short period of time, because you can talk about a well-rested bullpen and you can say bullpen's well-rested right now. Well, all it takes is a couple of games for a bullpen to get taxed. And if you have that over a couple of day period, then your bullpen is in trouble. So while the number looks good right now, there have been a handful of games so far this year where you are concerned with how quickly they have to go to the pen. Now, in terms of what the relievers have done so far this year, I'm going to use similar numbers here. It hasn't been exactly what you expect. They've been about a middle of the road bullpen, maybe a little bit better than that, at least so far this season. This pitching staff doesn't have to be great. It doesn't have to be top 5 in order for them to win the division. It may not even have to be top 5 in order for them to win a playoff series or two, because we know the offense is going to be there. We know the offense is going to hit. The problem is, or the concern becomes, when you get to the postseason and it does start to get colder and bats can cool down too, and it becomes harder to put runs across the board because the pitching really kind of, what's that word we were, it really distills down to like the concentrate, right? Like the best of the best pitching staffs typically are who you're going to face in the postseason. So they can shut down good hitting. They can shut down good offenses. That's what the concern is. Do you get to that part of the year and you have all these guys who have been hitting all season, but then it's October and, oh no, it's cold and they're facing good pitching. So instead of scoring 5 or 6 runs a game, you're getting a couple. In that case, your pitching staff does have to be really, really good. So I have more concerns. And it's still very, very early. We're only a couple of weeks into the season. But these are the kind of things you look for as the year goes on and the things that I'll be keeping an eye on over the next several weeks.
I know Flag Day, we've talked about this already
That's
this year.
Claiborne's thing, yeah.
That's Claiborne's Day, when things really start to matter. It's not until Flag Day, that middle of June, when you can start looking at trends and pull real conclusions regarding what you have on pitching, hitting, whatever it may be. But that's the middle of June. There's got to be a day before then when you at least start to recognize what the trends will be. Because right now, it doesn't feel like the Cardinals are living up to their potential in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
This could be a really long season if you don't start seeing things turn around. I mean, I don't want to see this until the middle of June.
No. You're right. Typically, I feel like I have a pretty good idea of what 90% of the teams are by the middle of May. I think that's a good time. A lot of people will say 60 games. They'll say 2 months of the season. That really gives you a great idea of what you have. And I think that's fair. Some people like to wait a little bit longer, like Claibs. A team is capable, and this team has done it, where they get off to slower starts and they're able to really pick it up by the time they get to July and August. Weather starts to heat up in St. Louis. Ball starts to travel more. You start to win more games by more runs because you can hit. And that pushes you into the postseason. They had that miraculous run a couple of years ago where they had no business going to the playoffs, and they ended up winning, what was it, like 20-21 or something outrageous like that. You don't want to count on that stuff. That can happen, but I think it's the wrong thing to do to look at it and go, well, you know that one. I mean, I know they're off to a bad start now, but you remember what happened 3 years ago. Like, yeah, that's historically great.
Yeah.
Don't count on stuff like that to happen.
Okay, this is the question that's really irrelevant in the sense that
I love irrelevance.
Nothing's going to change. Nothing is going to change about Major League Baseball, the scheduling, the number of games, anything like that. But we always hear the refrain, well, the baseball season is just so long. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's 162 games. 162 games is twice as long as the NHL season. And the NHL season feels long. Now, I know they're playing every day, so the NHL season, at least month-wise, is longer than baseball. But does it feel unnecessarily long? And I know it's always been like this, but why are there so many games? Why is it such a long season? What if you went to 100 games? They never will. It's an irrelevant question.
The most, they're never
it's just
going.
So many games.
It's too many.
I know. That's like my point is like.
Well, I guess it's because they discovered that
people buy tickets.
People buy tickets every day.
Yeah.
And it's the summer. Most of it. Most of the season is played when it's nice out. There are a couple of months where it's not. And so they figure people are coming. And, if you can play a baseball game every day, you can get tired, you can get worn down, but it's not physically taxing in the way hockey is.
I mean, I guess so, but it's still hard.
Because it's not a contact sport. Yeah, no, definitely.
But if you went to every other day with baseball, and again, I know this is
that'd be fine.
Any baseball fans are listening to me saying she's
They're
an
freaking
idiot.
out.
Yeah, she's an idiot. And it will never happen. It's just, I'm a big fan of asking, the why. And I know ultimately it's money. Money is the why, period. End of story. But it kind of feels like, well, it's nice out and we've got the time. We may as well play every day. Is that how they determined the season would roll?
Yeah, pretty much. That's
I
pretty
feel
much
like
it.
an idiot asking this question, but it's a lot of games.
They will never, if they ever, decrease the amount of games.
No.
Which they won't do. But if they do, they wouldn't go below the 154 that it was decades ago. They'd just go back to that.
If I started a league,
But they won't.
It would never occur to me to say, "Oh, you're going to start a pickleball league?" Yeah. How many games should be 200? We should have 200, maybe 300 games. Like that's how many games.
If anything,
Yeah.
I would bet that it's not out of the realm of possibility that in the next 10 to 15 years they actually add games to the schedule.
Unbelievable.
And the reason they're going to do it now is because, two reasons.
Yeah.
One, they're seeing how well this time of game thing works, and they'll say, well, if baseball games were only 2 hours and 30 minutes now, we're losing how many hours of baseball throughout the season? Let's make that up by adding a few extra games.
Yeah.
Let's add 5 or 10 games to the schedule. And the second reason is the most popular league in America is the NFL.
Yes.
We may hate the NFL here. People may despise it because of what they did, but the NFL is, without question, the most popular sports league in the country.
Not even close.
It isn't close. They added an extra game.
Yeah.
So that's like adding one game in football is like adding 10 games in baseball. So if they see that work, and it is, and it's bringing in more revenue, and they look at their own sport and they go, how do we grow the game?
Yeah.
They're going to expand. There's going to be expansion at some point in the next 10 years also. So if they add a couple of teams, why would they not add a few extra games?
Right. No. And again, I love having Cardinal baseball on almost every single night. It's one of my favorite parts of summer. It's just, like I said, like, wow, that is a lot of games. And right now people are going, oh, you probably root for the team based on their outfits. That's not how I root for the team. I root for the Cardinals, obviously. But I find it a very interesting conversation. And with baseball, it is what it is. And I do think that's why the games, the pitch clock, the shorter games is so deeply significant.
It's funny you say that about rooting for teams or not knowing much about baseball or whatever.
Because we got a text.
Well, but no, because I was visiting friends of mine last weekend, and I sometimes stay with this couple, and they have an extra room, so I'll stay with them.
Sure.
And I know them both, used to work with them, and she was talking about visiting St. Louis and how she likes it when she's been here. And she said, yeah, the last time I was there, we did this, and then we went to one of those like a bird game. And
bird game.
yeah, her husband and I go, "You mean the Cardinals?" And she's like, "Yeah, I guess that's the baseball team, right?" Like, yes. She called it some bird game.
Wow.
Oh, that's fantastic.
That's worse than I am.
Hey, speaking of birds, there's a different color bird and a different bird team that has a pitcher who's very upset with an airline. How'd you like that transition?
Terrible.
And this is just an incredible thing to me, and I have very strong feelings about it. We'll tell you about it next after Amy tells you about this thing.
That's exactly right. Because while I tell you about this thing, guess who just arrived? Major Garrett's in the building. How
Major
exciting is that? We got to let him in the building. I think he's outside the building.
Oh, no.
But Major Garrett is here. And in the meantime, if you are looking for a new car and you've been thinking, okay, it's time. We've been putting it off for a couple of years. We need to look at a new car. Here's where you have to go. You have to go to the St. Charles Automotive Group. The St. Charles Automotive Group is true one-stop shopping no matter what you're looking for. You have St. Charles Nissan, you have St. Charles Hyundai, and you have Genesis of St. Charles. Now, St. Charles Hyundai has just completed a brand new showroom. I was just there. It's absolutely gorgeous. And not only is the whole experience of shopping at St. Charles Automotive Group so easy, the buildings, the entire campus are gorgeous. It's also convenient. It's right there. You can go to shop for Nissan, Hyundais, or Genesis. And right now, Genesis of St. Charles is conveniently located in the St. Charles Hyundai showroom. They just broke ground on a brand new building that's going to open in 2023. You don't want to miss it. So whether you are looking for an SUV to fit the family, a luxury car, a new sedan, St. Charles Automotive Group they're just absolutely the best. Also, if you're looking for a pre-owned vehicle, really important to know, St. Charles Automotive Group has one of the largest pre-owned inventories in the state of Missouri. At any given time, they'll have 200 to 300 pre-owned vehicles. You'll want to check them out. You can visit their campus a quarter mile east of Mid Rivers Mall Drive or visit them at stcharlesauto.com.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing, together millions of things for our planet. We'll be planting and cleaning up at Tower Grove Park from 10 to noon on Friday, April 21st. It's our one day, one thing. Tower Grove Park is a National Historic Landmark park featuring grassy meadows, 7,000 trees, and flowers that make Tower Grove Park an important urban green space in the heart of South St. Louis. What's your one thing? Join us one day, one thing at Tower Grove Park, Friday, April 21st. Check out our station website for more details.
Men suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, regardless of age or past medical history, you'll see instant results on your first visit at Paramount Men's Medical Center. And for a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free. Call now, 314-720-8081.
How are balloons made? Where did the dinosaurs go? Why is the sky blue?
Your kids asked you the tough questions because they trusted you. So how about another question for you? Do you have a trusted financial professional to go to for answers on your retirement? Questions like, how much do I really need to retire? When should I take my Social Security benefits? Could my taxes go up when I stop working? We'll leave those tough kid questions to you, but for your retirement questions, Heisey Advisory Group is the team to ask. Call them today at 314-328-4400. We all have important questions. Get your retirement questions answered with help from Heisey Advisory Group. Call now at 314-328-4400. That's 314-328-4400.
Investment advisor products and services made available through AE Wealth Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor, and Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor with the SEC. AEWM and Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC are not affiliated companies.
AMCO presents Bet You Didn't Know.
Bet you didn't know that your car's transmission is made up of 800 pieces. Also, bet you didn't know that AMCO's fixed over 40 million transmissions, and that AMCO offers a nationwide warranty.
AMCO offers easy payment plan options for most any credit situation, so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow at AMCO.
That's AMCO, AA, MCO.
When you enter a place of business, you're owed a legal duty that the place of business is safe for you to shop in because they're making a profit from you. That's the law. Yet many times a normal day ends with injuries because that business breached that duty because they knew or should have known of the dangerous condition that caused your injury. It happens every day in many ways. Slip and falls where cleaning and maintenance were ignored. falling boxes and items stacked too high, and so many other unexpected occurrences and dangers only known to that business owner. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you suffered an injury at a place of business, let our team investigate and report back to you. The duty to protect customers from harm is the law, and our duty is to protect you after that harm. Visit forthepeople.com for more information, or on your cell phone, dial #law. That's all. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. forthepeople.com.
Spring has sprung and we're ready for you at St. Louis Composting. This year, skip the garden center mayhem and conveniently order your compost, garden soil, or mulch for delivery straight to your home. Online at stocompost.com. That's stocompost.com.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. We are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of lawyers and important decisions should not be based solely on advertising.
The best donuts in Missouri in 2023 can be had 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at Old Town Donuts. For more than 3 decades, get a dozen for less than $10 with a coupon from the Old Town Donuts Facebook page in Florissant and Cottleville.
Countdown to Earth Day. Just 4 days to go. Phones, tablets, and computers can be sold secondhand and disposed of at e-waste facilities. When we each share our one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
Prepare an emergency kit, sign up for local alerts, and make a family communications plan. Get started today at ready.gov/plan. A public service message brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
You know that new sound you're looking for? Well, listen to this. The show on KMOX.
Amy Mark scores Chris Ranji on KMOX.
Ron, you have this, right?
What?
You have this segment. Major's here, and we're just going to chat.
We have an auditor in the room, and he's just observing.
Oh, that's right.
And then I believe he's going to critique when it's over.
Yeah. I'm glad it's Major. When you said an auditor, I was thinking IRS.
Oh, no.
We're both going to prison.
Well, we're going to ask Major Garrett when he's on with us at 12 o'clock.
He seems like a guy who does his taxes on time.
That's what I'm going to ask him.
Yeah.
I'm going to
that's
ask him
a great
how
question.
quickly he gets it done, because my guess is
he's on top of it.
As soon as the forms come in,
yeah,
right away.
Yeah.
We'll waste no time on that. Meanwhile, Amy and I are going to prison.
We're going to prison, Major.
We're going to prison.
And the government's losing money by sending me to prison because my tax, I always owe money, but it's not a lot. And I don't know. I'm small beans. And so I'm going to prison.
You're the easy person to catch.
That's exactly right. I'm easy to catch.
That's
probably
right.
because I'm admitting it.
Yeah. The local IRS office is like, well, there's one.
Go get her.
Actually, there's two. So I mentioned this baseball player, a pitcher named Anthony Bass, pitches for the Toronto Blue Jays. This isn't a baseball thing, but he tweeted a couple of days ago that a flight attendant on a United flight just made his 22-week pregnant wife, traveling with a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old, get on her hands and knees to pick up popcorn that his youngest daughter dropped all over the floor of the plane, and said, "Are you kidding me?" So the question is, if your child creates a mess, should you have to clean it up even if you're pregnant? A mess in public.
Yeah. Okay. Here's what I'm thinking. Kids drop popcorn, but adults drop popcorn.
Right.
I've sat next to people that drop peanuts and popcorn. And you know what those people do? They get up and leave. They get off the plane.
Yeah.
Maybe we could have had a little grace for this lady.
Nah, you got to get down there and get it.
You would make her get the popcorn. That's
Nobody
so
told you to
rude.
get popcorn for the kids.
I thought you were going to say nobody told you to get pregnant.
What? Good Lord.
It's like, come on, Ranj.
Well, I mean, nobody did tell her that,
I
but
know.
that's not the point. Amy Mark scores and Chris Ranji. Thank God Major Garrett's here.
know,
He's next on KMOX.
Oh, man.
It's been a long time coming, but the new XFL has arrived, and it is here to stay. We're pushing the action, the boundaries, and the limits of what's possible. We're making dreams come true, both on and off the field. This is for every player, every fan, every city. And it's a chance for everyone to be part of something bigger. The wait is over. Come experience the XFL. Your St. Louis Battlehawks close the regular season against the Orlando Guardians Saturday, April 22nd at 11 a.m. Tickets on sale now. Visit xfl.com/tickets. That's xfl.com/tickets. Come out and cheer on your Battlehawks. Come experience the XFL.
Now that you've taken on that big job, you shouldn't have to settle for the big box. You've earned a trip to Northern Tool, and we're ready for the details. We know all about the little things that make the biggest difference. Maybe that's why they call us a problem solver's paradise. From pressure washers to power tools, pallet jacks to push carts, Northern Tool and Equipment carries the brands you depend on, like North Star, DeWalt, Milwaukee, and Strongway. We're made for this. Come see us in store or shop online at northerntool.com.
Spark St. Louis is the newest collaborative co-working office space located in the PwC Pennant Building at Ballpark Village. Spark supports local entrepreneurs and corporate professionals and features over 80 private offices, day pass options, monthly networking events, conference room, and special event amenities, while offering an innovative approach to city life where you can live, work, and watch the Cardinals play all within the neighborhood at Ballpark Village. Schedule your tour today by visiting Spark St. Louis online at spark-stl.com.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The home of the Cardinals, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. If you have a stone foundation in your basement that needs tuck pointing, now is a great time to get that taken care of by calling Morelli Tuck Pointing. What's tuck pointing? It's the removal of old mortar with the replacement of new mortar on a wall or a chimney. That mortar can become loose, missing, deeply eroded. And that's what happened last year at our house. As a result, water came into our home through the front room ceiling. The Morelli team tuck pointed and spot tuck pointed the outside wall and the chimney last August. Morelli then cleaned the job site, left the work area spotless. We could not have been happier with the work performed by the Morelli team. Morelli has won the Better Business Bureau's Torch Award and the Angie's List Super Service Award every year since 2005. Check out their reviews on the Google and Better Business Bureau websites for a free inspection and estimate. 314-645-1387, MorelliTuckPointing.com.
Awarded 2023 Large Market Radio Station of the Year by the Missouri Broadcasters Association, KMOX.
At 12 noon, it's a sunny sky, 66 degrees downtown at the Arch. The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. I'm Michael Calhoun. Our top story this hour. Southwest Airlines planes were stopped from taking off nationwide for what the airline called an intermittent technology issue, causing more than 1,500 flight delays. Today, just 4 months after the carrier suffered a meltdown over the Christmas travel rush, Southwest and the FAA said late this morning that the pause had been lifted. A judge in the case to remove Kim Gardner from office will hear pretrial arguments this afternoon on what evidence should be allowed. Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey was asked why he's seeking permission to question the St. Louis Circuit Attorney and her staff under oath before trial.
Well, number one, I'm going to leave the trial strategy to the courtroom, but I'll say this. It's obviously the people who have and continue to work in her office have a front row seat to her behaviors.
Bailey is hoping the judge sets a trial date as soon as possible. Gardner's team will be arguing for the case to be thrown out. On the topic of crime prevention and the year ahead, St. Louis City Board of Aldermen President Megan Green is pointing the finger at state legislators over the amount of guns in the city.
I mean, when it comes to getting guns off our street, unfortunately, our hands are tied by the Republicans in Jefferson City who have prohibited us from putting in place any local restrictions on guns.
Green does say the city has the power to address the root causes of crime. She says that means enacting new initiatives that will build upon what the Cure Violence program is already doing. The family of a black 16-year-old who was shot after he went to the wrong door to pick up his younger siblings in Kansas City is finally speaking on the ordeal. Ralph Yar's family says he went to the wrong address to pick up his brothers, and after he rang the doorbell, was shot once in the head and again after he fell to the ground. The man who allegedly shot him, 84-year-old Andrew Lester, has now been charged. Yarl's family attorney, Lee Merritt.
We'll be meeting with Prosecutor Thompson later today. We want to understand the charges that he did move forward with. We're happy that they're 2 felony charges that bear serious consequences, but we're not quite sure why attempted murder wasn't one of the charges, and we want to explore that a little further.
The KMOX Business Desk, a National Bank, is putting home ownership within the reach of more St. Louisans by bringing its down payment grant program to town. Gentry Kaufman from Bank of America on Total Information AM.
There's no strings attached to this grant, Tom. It's non-repayable. It's not a second lien. It is simply we are making the down payment on behalf of the client.
The grant is up to 3% of the purchase price of a home up to $10,000. That means that qualifying individuals could have their entire down payment of a $300,000 house covered by the program. bankofamerica.com/homeowner for more information. And the Dow from Stifels down 27 points to 33,959. We've got a one-vehicle crash on 141 going north at Schneider Drive. The left lane is closed. A stalled vehicle on 270 north at 44. The right lane is closed. 64 east at the route to exit to Route JJ. They're closed because of moving road work.
It is going to be mild and breezy with sun, some clouds, maybe a shower, thunder shower in some spots later this afternoon, this evening. The high 75 down the upper 50s tonight, warming up into the low to mid 80s with a windy day tomorrow, and then mid 70s with some showers and thunderstorms late Thursday that could be strong to severe. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Ian DeVore on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Sponsored by Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm, 66 in Florissant, 66 in St. Peters, and 66 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The show, sponsored by the Cardinals. Cardinal tickets for 2023 are on sale now and start at just $6. Info at cardinals.com.
Amy Marks, Coors, Chris Ranji, and tonight we are going to be joined by CBS Chief Washington Correspondent Major Garrett in U City for a discussion. We're going to do a Q&A with Major, who is in town. In fact, I know he's in town for a fact because I'm looking at him.
What was your first clue?
Well, you're right there. And
clue number one.
He's going to be with us tonight at 7 o'clock, Center of Creative Arts. And we'll talk to him. There will be a book signing afterwards, The Big Truth, Upholding Democracy in the Age of the Big Lie. And Major is with us in studio.
Yeah, so I don't want to alarm you because your backs are sort of to what I can see in the lobby, but there are 3 gentlemen with blue like windbreakers on that say IRS on the back.
Okay.
And they wanted to come in and talk to you two about the last segment. You know,
Yeah.
I think the dragnet has been deployed.
Is this about the popcorn?
No, I think it's about the
IRS.
the tax thing. Yeah,
So,
they
Major-
listened. Always listening.
That was my question.
Your government always listening.
Dang it.
We should have.
Maybe not for the right reasons, but always listening.
As they're arresting us, I'm handcuffed. I walk out and I go, "Thank you for listening."
I was. Yes. Well,
Make sure that shows up in the monthly ratings log. All right.
Do you have a meter?
Somebody get these guys a meter.
I was thinking about it when you were coming in. We were having our tax conversation
Yeah.
earlier, and we couldn't be any more last minute, Amy and I.
Okay.
And my thought
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
Major absolutely files his taxes on January 1st.
That's not true. Not remotely true. However, I do file them on a roughly timely basis. And here's why. And prepare yourself, financial analysts who are listening out there, because you're going to start screaming at the radio. All right. You're going to be enraged at me for what I'm about to say. So I have the government take way more out of my paycheck. So I get a relatively large refund. It's kind of my built-in savings mechanism.
Yeah.
And every financial planner will say, that's the stupidest thing in the world. Why would you do that? Why are you giving the government the money when you could have it and you could be investing it and earning? All that's true. I'm just psychologically addicted to it. I like the refund. It's a big chunk of change. I'm like, hey, happy springtime. Here we go.
It's a real rush.
So I do file on a relatively timely basis, usually in March, and depending on what the debt ceiling situation is, the government either sends me my refund pretty rapidly or, like it is right now, kind of holding on to it. Like these are extraordinary measures, and we're holding on to every penny that we can find.
Yeah.
And we'll pay you, Major Garrett, a little bit later once we get a resolution on raising the debt ceiling. I suspect that's what's going on. But anyway, I'm not the last minute. I'm not first in line. And the financial analysts out there are pulling their hair out like, why are you telling people this? This is the worst possible advice. Your addiction is stupid. It's self-defeating. It's financially brain dead. Stop talking. So I'll stop talking.
Okay.
Well, you're still better than us.
Yeah. Major, is it this
Knew
bad?
that was going to happen.
I'm going to be 40
Mhm.
in a couple
That's
of,
not bad.
in a couple of months. Well, and here's what I texted.
As a 60-year-old, I can tell you that's not bad.
Well, here's what I texted at 10:01 p.m. last night
Mm.
as a 40-year-old woman. Hey, Dad, do you remember where that box of important info is?
Hey, Dad.
That box of
Oh.
important info, I think it has documents for my taxes.
Right. So two reactions.
Oh, my God.
Two reactions. As a father of 3 grown children,
Yeah.
first reaction is any text from a child is a good thing.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah.
Any text from a child is a good thing. Whatever the hour, whatever the day. The documents thing is really bad. That harshes the mellow right off right after that. Like, what? That's this hassle? I get a text about a hassle and documents and crap. Oh, I was so happy a second ago, and then I read the rest of the text, and now I'm bummed out.
I'd be like, hey, it's not like you haven't reported on boxes of important documents before.
One or two. Hell, I remember covering Sandy Berger, who had documents in his socks. Look it up, kids. It's on the Google machine.
Why don't you have the documents at your house?
Well, I moved.
These are the kind of documents you should have at your home.
I know. I moved to a much smaller apartment. I was in a small apartment and I thought, let's go smaller. And I did. And there were lots of boxes. And I'm like, oh, no, let's just throw them in your basement until we can figure it out.
There's a sitcom there somewhere. Amy Mark scores The Downsizing 40-Year-Old.
Yeah,
That's right.
The downsizing 40-year-old.
You
Oh,
have
what a
no
great
idea. I also need a life alert. Major, my mom wants me to get one. She's like, you should not live alone. You need a life alert. I mean, the shower is slippery. It's easy to fall, even
It
as a
is.
relatively young person.
Yeah.
Major is questioning why he made the trip to the studio.
Not at all. Not at all.
This flight's not till 10. Anyway, Major Garrett is in studio with us for the next hour.
Yes.
And you just went to Mizzou. You stopped by there and
Yes.
visited the
My
kids.
beloved alma mater, University of Missouri, Columbia. Yeah.
And we were talking about this off the air, and it's a conversation I had with some Illinois State people last week. And I'm stunned at the amount of people now that are still willing to get into journalism for a number of different reasons. One of them is all the vitriol that they have taken from people over the last several years. Pay is another. It's so important, though, for people to want to do this work.
It is. And one of the reasons I go back to my alma mater is not only because it launched my career, whatever I've made of it, good or bad, I made of it. And I think it's mostly good because of the School of Journalism at the University of Missouri. I also got a degree from the College of Arts and Sciences. I don't want to ever leave them out, political science as well. So it was a busy 4 years, but it was the most important decision of my life. There's really no decision that was more momentous for me to leave home in Southern California. San Diego is where I grew up, across the country, and come to a place that taught me so many important, rigorous things about the process of becoming a journalist. And I get back as often as I can because I have found, as I was as a student there, when journalists come in who are in the profession, you hunger for interaction with them. You want to know what it's like out there. You want to know what their challenges are. You want to know how they approach stories or interviewing or source development and all those things. And I can offer a limited perspective based on my career. So I get back as often as I can. And I also do it for a very selfish reason, which gets to your question, Ron. To energize myself, to reattach myself to the energy of optimism and idealism about journalism. And kids who want to do this work, even though they know that there is very little pay, that the job opportunities are far more limited than they were when I graduated in 1984, that the hostility that they will likely encounter whether they're a national reporter or a community-based reporter, is real, and it's not going away anytime soon. And that many people will have a threshold assumption about them that isn't true, but is decidedly negative, and also in a way that wasn't true in 1984. When you graduated as a journalist in 1984, it's like, oh, okay. You're a newspaper reporter. That's not the greatest thing in the world, but it's not terrible. Now there's a sort of a default. It's probably terrible. You're probably a lefty, or you're some kind of crazy person who wants to ruin the country or get in my face or make me unhappy or whatever. And one of the questions I got yesterday was, what do I do when I go cover an event and people instantly get in my face and just want to harass me? And we had an incident in Columbia, a reporter for the Missourian, which is the laboratory newspaper of the School of Journalism. It's the daily newspaper in Columbia. It's now more important than the Columbia Daily Tribune, the private newspaper. It services all of Columbia, surrounding counties around Boone County. It covers the state legislature. It's the closest thing Missouri has anymore to a statewide newspaper. And two student journalists were at a polling precinct, and they were just trying to see if anyone would talk to them about the election they were voting in. And several people spat on them because they were reporters. Kids, college kids. They spat on their feet. And they said, what do I do about that? And I said, look, I do not have a magic wand. I don't have a way to de-escalate that situation. I said, but one place you can start is to say, whoever's getting in your face, I hear you. I assume because you're talking to me and you're kind of charged up and energized that you believe in the Constitution. I assume you believe in the Constitution. And they'll probably say, yeah, I sure do. And I suggested to them that you say, so do I. And I'm here under a right protected by the Constitution and a responsibility under that First Amendment. So I'm here on behalf of the Constitution. You're here on behalf of the Constitution. Might that not be a place where we can at least find that small island of common ground? And they're like, oh, I never tried that. I said, I don't know if it's going to work or not. But in a de-escalatory environment, when all you're trying to do is say, why am I here? You're upset that I'm here. Why am I here? I'm here because I'm protected. The Constitution protects that. And I'm curious about what people are thinking about this larger topic. And you may not like me, or you may not like what I do or who I work for, but you believe in the Constitution. I believe in the Constitution. And if we can start from that small place of agreement, maybe we can down the temperature a degree or two. And maybe that helps some students in the future. I sure hope it does.
How much of that tension and animosity towards reporters is partly due to the fact you have talking heads on cable news who are not reporters but opinion givers? They're opinion givers, and people have now conflated talking head opinion givers with objective reporters.
Sure. And I will blame my industry for that confusion, for that blurriness. We have created an atmosphere in which there is understood confusion. I mean, in the sense that I understand why people see that the lines between editorial comment and journalistic comment move around all the time. And you can have one journalist talking to three people on a panel, and the three people are opinionists, and one journalist is there. And well, seriously, you're going to expect someone in the audience to distinguish clearly and definitively between the one journalist and the three opinionists? So our industry has fed into that to a certain degree. And I wish we hadn't, and I wish we wouldn't. Wish we'd have very clear lines all the time about asking reporter questions, which is not what you think, what you know, what's established, what have you covered, and then leave the think about or my opinion is to somebody else, clearly and distinctively. So we are part of that blame. But look, there is a lawsuit going on right now in Delaware involving my former employer from many, many years ago. I left Fox in 2010. And Dominion Voting Systems. And the revelations that have come out in discovery about that do not paint a pretty picture. They paint a picture of editorialists and marketers talking about a topic in ways they knew or had very strong reason to believe was false. And their internal communications, not my words, theirs, indicate strongly that there was a commercial purpose behind that. Now they're wanting to shield themselves on the First Amendment I was talking about a moment ago. We'll find out if that shield works.
So because it is, that part of the business is lucrative. The opinion business is lucrative. And Amy and I give
That's
our
what we are.
opinions.
We're opinion givers.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we do. I don't say it's quite as lucrative as what's happening on Fox News.
We are missing out on the lucrative business of giving opinions, which is shocking. But we do
But
say,
because
like,
it's-
we give opinions and the newsroom is out there. We're
Right.
different than the newsroom.
Right. I mean, this
Yeah.
is a news talk station. It's how it's identified. Is there any coming back from the way cable news? Because cable news is pervasive. It's everywhere. So is there a coming back from that model?
Boy, I don't know. Right now, I would say all the models, the financial models in news are very much in flux. Network news ratings are down for morning shows and evening news shows. They've been consistently down. They went up a little bit during the pandemic because people were at home much more.
Yep.
They weren't commuting or moving around, so they were watching the evening news a little bit more. But those ratings are still down, very low, and a very, I would say, age appropriate, since I'm 60, audience. But it's an aging audience for sure. People who grew up with a pattern of watching the evening news tend to be much older. I know this because my 3 children, all in their 20s now, never watched the evening news, never did, even when I was on it. And they were at home and could have. They didn't watch it. Kind of an indicator of where things were heading. Digital platforms, there are some great success stories like the New York Times. The New York Times has built a successful subscription-based model, but also on add-ons to journalism, Wordle, recipes, podcasts, The Daily, and things like that. Washington Post is trying to catch up in that space. So is the Wall Street Journal. But I don't need to tell anybody in this audience, the St. Louis Post-Dispatch isn't the newspaper that it once was. The Kansas City Star isn't. Most city newspapers are smaller than they used to be. Most TV stations are smaller than they used to be. Most radio stations are small. God bless KMOX. It has a newsroom. It covers St. Louis. It's an amazing resource. People here should understand and appreciate how rare and valuable it is to have local journalists here all the time covering your city. Most cities don't have that. All of those models, all the ways by which you sustain journalism are under enormous pressure. And I offer one bit of advice to people who might be listening to me. When you think about this, what's the future of journalism? I saw yesterday that Forbes had done a calculation that the average American spends $48 a month on their streaming subscriptions. Writ large, that $48 is for fiction. Streaming services mostly provide shows that are fictional. So it's $48 a month for fiction. Here's my humble suggestion. Spend at least half of that on fact every month. Subscribe to your local newspaper. Support your public radio station. Subscribe to a newspaper that's outside of or magazine or something. Devote at least half as much to fact as you do to fiction. Because free journalism is available. Pay-for journalism is also available, but I guarantee you, pay-for journalism is better. There's a lot of free journalism out there that's not journalistic at all. Might make you happy, but it's not journalism, and it's not facts. Pay half as much for your facts every month as you do for your fiction.
That's Chief Washington correspondent for CBS News, Major Garrett, in studio with us for the hour. More with him when we come back on KMOX.
Well, over at STL FenceWorks, it's a great week. It's a great week here in KMOX for a couple of reasons. One, the weather is really, really gorgeous. And this is the time when you want to utilize your outdoor space, your backyards. You will step outside and think, man, I really wish I had redone that deck, or I wish I had put that fence in, let the puppy run around. Go visit STL FenceWorks today, stlfenceworks.com. A month from now, If you don't visit today, you'll wish you had. You could get started on that product. And in fact, Sean Timothy Long, he's the STL and STL FenceWorks, he's stopping by the studio in a couple of days. I'm really excited to hang out with him. And in the meantime, you can check out stlfenceworks.com. Remember, they are so proud to partner with Jareth Manufacturing. Now, Jareth basically invented the vinyl fence industry over 50 years ago, the aluminum fence industry over 50 years ago, and all of their product is wholly sourced and manufactured in the U.S. STL FenceWorks is the third largest Jareth customer in the world. So they've got the aluminum fence covered. They also have partnered with National Vinyl Products to provide you with vinyl fencing, tan, clay, gray, and variegated wood grain vinyl fence products, all made in the U.S. Don't forget Wolf Cellular PVC. They are the #1 maintenance-free decking product in the United States. And STL FenceWorks is the #1 distributor of Wolf Cellular PVC in the Midwest. Visit them today at stlfenceworks.com.
We go where you go. 1120 AM, 98.7 FM, KMOX.com.
The Biz Dash is St. Louis's healthiest happy hour, combining fitness, company, team bonding, and fun. All levels of runners and walkers welcome. Thursday, May 25th at City Park in downtown St. Louis. Create your company team today at stlbizdash.com.
Hi, guys. It's Mark. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction? Did you know that a major medical breakthrough is now available and it isn't a pill? Today, Tuesday, we're running a one-day special you won't want to miss out on. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. It's backed by 60 clinical studies, including from Cambridge. If you're ready to regain the spark in your bedroom, today is your day. Call us now, and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. You'll also get a gift that can produce rapid and powerful results in the bedroom in minutes. You're going to love that one, guys. Trust me. And today only, we're offering 6 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is an unprecedented offer worth hundreds of dollars, but call today and qualify totally free. Call 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your life back. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 314-530-7777.
Did you know the IRS is a super creditor? Hi, I'm Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. The IRS is the only creditor that can create a bill for you without your permission, then drop the hammer and aggressively collect it by wiping out your bank account, seizing your assets, and levying your wages. No other creditor can do that, and this can all happen without a court approval. If you owe back taxes, you need to be prepared to face the super creditor. Don't just sit back and take it. Fight back. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, we know how to use the laws to your advantage and go toe-to-toe with the IRS. Our office is located right here in St. Louis. Contact the Lance Drury Law Firm today for a free consultation with me, or visit us at lancedrurylaw.com or call 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120 to get started.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
AKMOX listeners, Roger Wigginton here, Don Rogers Limited, 6727 West Main in Belleville. We're heading into that time of year where there's going to be a lot of special events going on. Graduations, weddings, maybe a vacation or a cruise, anniversaries. And we have a huge selection of ladies' dresses. Sleeveless, short sleeve, long sleeve. Tons of color. Everything has a UPF fabric that protects. And to go back with our black and navy travel fabric, we have great selection of beautiful dressy jackets that you can really dress up or dress down in any outfit. At our men's department, great selection of suits and sport coats, all the accessories to go with it, belts, Talia socks, silk ties, everything that a guy needs to pull it together. So if you need something for some type of a special event or a special occasion, come to Don Rogers first. Don't forget, we're located at 6727 West Main in Belleville. Don Rogers Limited. We're open Monday through Saturday, 9:30 to 4. Park at the door, walk in and get waited on. Thank you so much for listening to our commercial.
Trusted information, live and local. From the award-winning KMOX Newsroom.
Gonna have a good time tonight. Amy Marks Coors, Chris Ranji, Major Garrett.
Uncensored.
Major
Garrett, uncensored.
Don't overpromise.
Yeah.
This guy, you wouldn't believe what he's saying.
Oh, just wait.
Just wait until tonight. Don't ring the kids.
Yeah. He's been
a show that will never be on MTV. Major Garrett Unplugged.
Yes.
Never. Not because it wouldn't be fun for me. It would be fun for absolutely no one else. So they would never book that. Yeah.
Turn my mic off. I'll yell into the crowd. We're looking forward to it
Yep.
tonight. So anybody who is coming by, if you've done the RSVP thing, you're not going to get a bounce back email or anything. You're good.
You're good.
Just show up. What we're going to do, I believe, is ask people to, if they have questions
Mm-hmm.
for Major, to write them down. We'll have cards. We'll be greeting you as you come in the door, and you can write down a question.
Mm-hmm.
We will get to as many of them as we possibly can. But looking forward to tonight.
And I will hang around afterwards to sign books if anyone wants to buy the book, The Big Truth, Upholding Democracy in the Age of the Big Lie. I believe there's a bookseller that will be there available.
Yes. Left Bank Books.
Thank
will
you
be
to
there.
them. Thank you to KMOX. Thank you to you two. I told you a long time ago that if you put the event together, I would come out on my own dime, and my dimes are on the table, and I'm out here.
I'll
There
tell
we
you
go.
what, man. You're just of your word.
I
He's
try
a
to
trooper.
be. I try to be.
He's a journalist.
Hey, brother.
That's
You're
right.
right.
Amy, Chris, Major Garrett in studio here on KMOX.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
What if you could do business without busy work? With Ramp, you can. Ramp is the future of finance with smart automation, corporate cards, and spend management. Just imagine, no more expense reports or shuffling wrinkled receipts. No more slogging through invoices or getting surprised by unexpected charges. Just your business's big idea with smart spend controls, automation that crushes busy work, and real-time insights so you can make it happen. In other words, Ramp completely reimagined finance to make it work for your business. Get set up, issue corporate cards, and start making payments in less than 15 minutes. See how Ramp does finance. Join today and get $250 just for signing up. Just go to ramp.com/finance. That's ramp.com/finance to get $250 for signing up. That's ramp.com/finance.
Hey, it's Debbie Monterey. Have you noticed that for sale signs in your neighborhood have been up for longer than normal? Why? Well, they probably don't have my friend and trusted realtor Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty's name on them, because agent selection matters. And that's why I recommend you call Gloria Liu. I've been telling you about Gloria for years now, and you should call Gloria before you list your home. Gloria has the buyers. More than 2,400 exclusive buyers in her database looking for a home in your neighborhood. Gloria sells twice as fast and for 5% more money on average when compared to other agents. With Gloria, you sell faster and for more money. And Gloria will guarantee upfront in writing that she'll sell your home at your price and your time frame, or she will buy your home herself. Call Gloria Liu today at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888 or online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
At 12:30, we have sun and 68 degrees downtown at the Arch. St. Louis police are currently investigating a police car being fired upon in South City at Virginia and Itasca before 11 o'clock this morning. We're told the officer was not injured. We're learning more about an attack on a U.S. convoy amid heated fighting in Sudan. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says preliminary reports link a paramilitary group battling Sudan's military to the attack.
This action was reckless, it was irresponsible, and of course unsafe.
Nobody in the convoy was hurt. A jury has been seated to hear the voting machine company's $1.6 billion defamation lawsuit against Fox News. The trial beginning today will test First Amendment protections and expose the network's role in spreading the lie of a stolen 2020 presidential election. On the roads right now, we've got moving road work on 270 going west at West Florissant. The right lane is closed, and some debris on the roadway at 55 South at Merrimack Bottom. That's got the left lane closed. Breezy and mild this afternoon. Sun mixes with clouds. Can't rule out a thunder shower in some spots later this afternoon into the evening. Today's high 75. Partly cloudy tonight, the low 58. Tomorrow, mix of clouds and sun with a high 83. Sponsored by Chesterfield Fence and Deck. Chesterfield Fence and Deck is your premier provider of fences, decks, patios, sunrooms, and more. Call them for a free estimate today. Now offering 48 months interest-free financing on your next outdoor project. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, chesterfieldfence.com. Right now, we've got a sunny sky, 67 in Florissant, 68 St. Peter's, 68 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Jerry Kelly swings next day installs no matter how late you call. And because they work later every day, they're faster when your equipment just needs fixing too.
That's MVP material.
Yep, simple fix or a full install, nobody gets you comfortable faster.
JerryKelly.com. Hey guys, Glover here with my friends Mark and Neil Gelman from the Gelman team of eXp Realty. Selling your home, every situation is unique. Find the best options that are right for you from the real estate team who offer more options. My friends Mark and Neil Gelman. Check out the only agents that I trust at thegelmanteam.com.
Broadcasting from the Underline Three Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
Conductor Laureate Leonard Slatkin returns to lead your St. Louis Symphony Orchestra through a musical experience steeped in Spain and the Spanish language, featuring Chabrier's España, as well as Strauss's Don Quixote. Enjoy as special guest Joshua Roman's cello playing the famous knight, and SLSO principal viola Beth Guterman Chu playing his trusted sidekick. This Saturday and Sunday, April 22nd and 23rd at Powell Hall. Tickets at slso.org.
Fairwinds River's Edge is an award-winning independent living community located in the heart of St. Charles. Voted Best Independent Living by U.S. News and World Report, Fairwinds River's Edge provides the life-enhancing independent living services you need to support your best self. We believe that joy isn't just for the young, it's for the young at heart. With services and amenities handling life's necessities, you can dance and enjoy live entertainment at happy hour, play a competitive game of beanbag baseball with your neighbors, participate in an aquatic fitness class in a warm water pool, or go out to Crown Candy for lunch. Say goodbye to home maintenance, cooking, and cleaning, and hello to the fun. In our active community for adults 55 plus, you'll cultivate connections and make meaningful memories in a community that feels like home. Join the fun at Fairwinds River's Edge. There's always something going on. Call them to see what's coming up next. 636-754-2317.
Hi, I'm Paul Goldschmidt. Hi, I'm Miles Michaelis.
I'm Adam Wainwright, and you're listening to the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
It's the Cards and Diamondbacks tonight. Emlyn Total Access 550. First pitch 6:45.
KMOX is Cardinals Radio.
Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji. I just had to endure 7 minutes of running talk. So I'm glad you're back with me.
Major's a
Amy,
multiple marathoner. We had to talk running a little bit.
Very slow,
Major-
very slow pace on
Major-
those marathons.
You know what?
Long time ago.
we don't get that runner's high. I don't get it. I don't
It's a
know
myth.
what that's like.
It's a myth.
It is a myth.
No, you get it, but that's the problem. Then it's harder and harder to get it. So you have to run like 20 miles before it kicks in. Otherwise, it's exactly like you described,
It
which
never kicks
Yeah,
in.
it doesn't kick in.
Ugh.
Yeah, let's move on to
Yeah,
something else.
because when you're at mile 18, you're like, what? Are you kidding me? 8 more miles?
Yeah.
What am I doing here?
Unbelievable.
That's my headspace. The 3
Yeah.
marathons that I completed.
You
Run
know,
would be a generous description. I completed them. Running, in a matter of speaking.
You said Major described it as, well, they pat you on the head
Yes.
and say, okay, whatever.
Thanks for rounding out the field. Pen 32.
You did great.
Yeah.
You did great.
I mean, by the time I would cross the start line, they'd be sweeping up.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, wait a minute. There's still
Oh,
people who
still
haven't even
people?
started yet. They're trying to break it down. Like, oh, no, wait for me. I've got to pass the start line.
I'd have stopped off at the coffee shop. I'd be done at the coffee
Yeah.
shop.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
I'm having a, what do they call it? A cortado.
Meanwhile, the elite runners have already done they've already gone the half marathon, you know.
They're at the next marathon already.
I think he's lining up for his next race.
You know, Major, you were talking a little bit about the Dominion lawsuit
Mhm.
before we went to break. I've wondered, and I was going to ask you this question tonight, and I still might for
Mhm.
people who didn't get to hear this interview. But do you think there's a possibility, if it hasn't already happened, that maybe this lawsuit will cool the temperature on people who are constantly claiming that there's some kind of fraud, that elections are stolen and they're all rigged. It almost seems like it's cooled a bit. Will this do that even more?
I hope so, but I don't have a whole lot of confidence that it will. What I hope it will do first is not allow any enlargement of that conversation. It will force by its, because look, this is gonna be dealt with one way or the other. Just because a trial has begun, it doesn't mean a settlement cannot be reached. But there was a period of time yesterday going into this morning when the judge allowed the two sides to see if they could reach a settlement. They did not, so we're going to trial. But you can still settle along the way. And clearly what Dominion wants is not just money. If this were about money, this would have been settled. Dominion wants an apology. Dominion wants accountability. Dominion wants a news network to admit something it would rather not admit. And that is going to have to be the terms by which this is dealt with. Fox is going to have to do that one way or the other. So my first hope is that it will not enlarge the conversation. My second hope is that over time, people who adhere to this belief will come to see that elections still function and election results can be believed, and the basis upon which we hold elections in this country, which is, and I've done a tremendous amount of research on this across the country, they're not only more secure, not only are they safer, not only are they more accurate, they're more verified in different ways than ever before. So we actually do this thing better than we've ever done it before, yet we have, within certain pockets of our country, deeper doubts than we've ever had before. And one thing that helps people relieve their doubts is seeing things continue to work and results continue to happen. And our elections are not going to get worse. They're going to get better. And we're going to see that play out. So I have a long-term degree of optimism about that, but I have a short-term degree of pessimism because the day after the Super Bowl, I flew to Phoenix, Arizona. Arizona is, for better or for worse, and I would say mostly for worse, the epicenter of this particular movement, this election denialism, election rejectionism movement. And you can watch this online on YouTube. Arizona State University and University of Southern California, the Cronkite School of Journalism at Arizona State University, and the School of Journalism, the Annenberg School of Journalism at University of Southern California, participated with me and Frank Luntz, a well-known focus group leader, my co-author, David Becker, the head election official of Maricopa County. His name is Bill Gates. He always says, I'm the other Bill Gates. And Brad Raffensperger, the Secretary of State of Georgia. And we had 17 people in this focus group, all of whom believe the 2020 election was stolen from Donald Trump and believe Kerry Lake won the 2022 governor's race in Arizona. Neither one of those things are true. But these 17 people came, and there were 90 students from Arizona State University. And for 2 hours, we talked about elections. And at that end of that 2-hour period, when we answered their questions and provided information, not one of them had changed their minds. And it might have started with Fox, but they've done, quote unquote, their own research. And they are satisfied to their own level of need that they're right and I'm wrong. And what I took away from that was this is deep and very personal. It's about a lot of things. Estrangement from institutions, a sense that America's changing in ways they are not comfortable with, a deep skepticism, if not hostility, to technology and anything that is technological that is not fully explained to them, and a sense that they don't have control or they're powerless. And much of that flowed through COVID and COVID changes, but it's not entirely partisan and it's not all linked to Trump. There was one gentleman there who said he didn't believe in any election results. And so my co-author, David Becker, picked up on this and said, well, who is your member of Congress? He said, Andy Biggs, who's a very conservative, very pro-Trump Republican. And so my co-author, David Becker, asked him, he said, do you believe Andy Biggs was elected legitimately? The guy that you really like. And he paused for a minute, said, no, I don't. I can't be sure. So I thought it was more or less a kind of a pledge of allegiance to Trump. No, he just doesn't believe anything anymore. And that's a big problem. That's a really big problem. And when I'm there tonight, I'm going to tell everyone what I tell anyone who asks me. I'm not wagging a finger at you. I'm not accusing you of anything. I'm not trying to talk you out of anything. I just want to share a conversation about the great American experiment. Because I believe in this one place of voting, it's working really well. And you should have not only confidence in it, you should be prideful about it. We're getting better. We're working harder at it. And we did something that was really hard in 2020 that, whether you like the result or not, we came together as a country and put on an election that had the highest turnout ever, most diverse population, under the hardest circumstances since the Civil War. So I don't want to yell at anybody. I don't want to tell them they're wrong. And I certainly don't want to tell them that their perspective is anti or pro-American. You're an American. You're part of this conversation. And let's see if we can work it out together. Let's see if we can work this out together. Because if we don't, if we get to a place where the only election result that we're willing to accept is when our side wins, we will be systematically involved in the destruction of this country. And I can't abide that.
And what you're saying, it makes me think of how people have said, this is not the hardest time to be alive. My goodness, in world history, we have so much prosperity. Even those of us who are struggling financially are doing better. We're more well off than people 100, 200 years ago. We know that perspective in world history. It's not the most corrupt time to be alive, but I do think it's a particularly stupid time to be alive. And I've wondered what has happened. How have we become so ridiculous in so many ways, and how we're using war terminology or religious terminology to talk about our neighbors down the street who voted differently. And I think it's some of that is that due to the prosperity, we have the luxury to get upset about things and make things bigger than they actually are.
Possibly. When I met these folks in Arizona, and the best part of the story was this. Well, we originally assumed that we would have the focus group for an hour, and then we would have a conversation for another hour. But it didn't turn out that way. The focus group went on for the full 2 hours. And as I said, you can watch it on YouTube. And for anyone who's curious about the answers to some of the questions about elections and why they should be believed, or the skepticism, you can see it all play out. Afterwards, David and I sat at a table, as I will tonight, and we had books available. I want to give a great shout out to the Phoenix leadership. It's like their supercharged Chamber of Commerce. They bought 150 books. So everyone got a free book. No one had to pay anything, including the rejectionists, the denialists. All 17 lined up. They all wanted the book signed. They all took a copy of the book. Several wanted selfies with David and I. And as David and I left the event, it was late at night, 10 o'clock, he said, "Do you think we changed any minds?" I said, "I don't know." But back to a term I used before, I said, "I think we brought the temperature down." And to a person, those 17 people said, "Thank you for listening to us." And Amy, I think that's part of what this is. For whatever set of reasons, I'm not sure if it's all social media, but social media is certainly part of it. People do not feel that they have a voice or that they're paid attention to or respected. And that creates a sense of distance and alienation that can harden very quickly. And I think during lockdown, when people found it easier to maybe scratch around the edges of a rabbit hole and then tumble in, there was a lot of that. But I do think it's a sense of distance that people feel from their neighbors, from their sense of what America is, from what their sense of what America was. And that's created a kind of anxiety that is hard to clinically quantify, but I think you see it in so many different ways and in so many different behaviors. People are on edge. People are a kind of living, breathing hair trigger. Whether it's politics or culture, we seem to default to living on the edge of rage. And I detect that in ways I never did before in this country. And if I have any goal in my work, it's to listen and to try to pull people along with me away from that edge, if only an inch or two, to a place where we are more likely to think about, and I don't want to, this always sounds like a cliche, oh, what unites us is more than what divides us. People don't even listen to it anymore. I'm not talking about uniting. I'm just talking about edging away from that ledge of anger, to see things just a little bit differently and pull back from that inclination toward rage. And if I can do that, I'll be successful with one person at a time. I have very low metrics for measuring success in this space.
That's one more person that wasn't there yesterday. CBS News Chief Washington correspondent Major Garrett is with us in studio for one more segment when we come back on KMOX.
Well, just the other day, I kid you not, Mason Jar and I have been talking about looking at Nissan, looking at SUVs, fit the family, maybe drive out to Colorado. And so I visited St. Charles Nissan, and man, what a beautiful showroom. What a beautiful campus. And right now you can get 0% APR financing on select Nissan models. And this runs through May 1st. And that means you have an opportunity to get a great deal. Don't wait. Visit St. Charles Nissan. They really want to sell some cars. And so they're motivated to get the cars off the lot, get you in a new car, which means they have opportunities for you to get a great deal. St. Charles Nissan is part of the St. Charles Automotive Group, so it really is one-stop shopping. They have a beautiful campus alongside St. Charles Hyundai, brand new showroom and building, and Genesis of St. Charles. Now, Genesis of St. Charles is right in that Hyundai showroom as well. They just broke ground on a new building. It's going to be gorgeous. But again, St. Charles Nissan is conveniently located a quarter mile east of Mid Rivers Mall Drive, just off Highway 70. You can also visit them at stcharlesnissan.com, and they encourage you to do that. They've got an incredible inventory. While other dealerships in the past year or so have been low on inventory and have been marking up their prices, that has not happened at St. Charles Nissan. They have a well-stocked inventory, lots of cars, and what you see is what you get. They're not going to really jack up the price. They want repeat customers. So visit them today, St. Charles Nissan, stcharlesnissan.com.
Worldwide Technology, recognized as a great place to work for 12 years in a row, is hosting a supply chain career event on April 29th at their North American Integration Center in Edwardsville, Illinois, to connect with skilled professionals in the technology production and supply chain industries to fill dozens of roles. Positions include warehouse specialists and managers, production supervisors, configuration techs, and more. These jobs come with competitive pay, industry-leading benefits that even include your pets, and an award-winning culture with career development that gives you options to grow. Learn more and apply online at wwt.com/careers.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
At Underlaw, we take on the establishment and challenge corporations to be better for the safety of our community.
Call Underlaw Personal Injury Lawyers at 314 or 618-9 million.
Your garage door is always there for you, rain or shine. Are you taking your garage door for granted? Is it screeching and whining for attention? Trust Overhead Door Company of St. Louis to keep your garage door reliable. Maybe the old weather stripping needs replaced to keep out the cold and hot air. Call Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, trusted here since 1926. For same-day service, call 314-781-5200 and schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Another great one for you, ladies and gentlemen. The new joke, Uncle Sam, short form for taxes. The first line, how much did you make? The next line, send it all in.
You know, that's really not that funny, but it's what a lot of people do in retirement. They take money out of their 401k or IRA and end up sending it in when they pay the taxes. Steve Hall of the All Financial Group believes there's a better plan for your retirement than Uncle Sam's plan. In fact, he invites you to attend an exclusive educational event focusing on taxes in retirement. What if the savings you realized would allow you to retire early? Wouldn't you want to know about all that now? Join Steve and the team for this upcoming event on April 25th or April 27th. This event is complimentary, but you must qualify to attend. Call 636-230-8824 or go to yourmoneymattersstl.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, LLC, BWA, a registered investment advisor. BWA and All Financial Group, LLC are independent of each other. Insurance and annuity products are offered through Stephen All, Missouri license 8039738.
Did you know that how happy you are could be related to how well you hear?
According to the Better Health Institute, research shows that unaddressed hearing loss is associated with depression. Studies also show that people with hearing loss who use hearing aids often have fewer depressive symptoms, they have greater social engagement, and have improved quality of life. Therefore, having your hearing tested by an experienced audiologist is extremely important. Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. I recommend you contact Dr. Colleen Bosler at the Audiology Center. Dr. Bosler is very approachable. She has a doctorate in audiology from the University of Illinois Champaign-Urbana. She carries the best performing hearing aids, and Dr. Bosler is an expert on the latest technology. Make an appointment today at one of Dr. Colleen Bosler's 3 St. Louis area offices, 636-441-7470, theaudiologycenterstl.com.
Let's make room for 72 more families to stay together during extreme medical emergencies each day by supporting the Ronald McDonald House Charities of St. Louis Capital Campaign. Please visit rmhcstl.com and learn the ways you can donate.
Men suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, regardless of age or past medical history, you'll see instant results on your first visit at Paramount Men's Medical Center. And for a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free. Call now, 314-720-8081.
Hi, it's Kent Newbold for Newbold Toyota. Your car is worth more than ever before, so why trust the damages for your servicing? Come see the factory-trained experts at Newbold Toyota in O'Fallon, Illinois, or newboldtoyota.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
Track your blood donations right from the palm of your hand and stay updated on special promotions. Download the American Red Cross Blood Donor app today. To learn more, go to redcross.org.
Dude, I'm here for the show. What show?
St. Louis, this is your show.
The show.
The show on KMOX.
Just a few more minutes here with Major Garrett from CBS News, Amy Marks Kors, and Chris Ranji. Our event tonight starts at 7 o'clock. Center of Creative Arts in U City. We got a text message when you guys were talking about the marathons and taking a long time to cross the finish line. This texter says it's tough when you cross the line and they ask if there's anybody behind you.
Right. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I never thought about that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That?
They're like, you picked up the bottle caps and stuff as you were coming to finishing, weren't
Yeah.
you? Didn't you do that? And the bunting, did you help us clean up the bunting? You know, because you're the last one here.
Well, a lot of races have a sweeper wagon. And
Yeah.
that's the wagon that drives behind people. And if you can't keep a certain pace, they're like, you got to get in this car.
I didn't know how marathons worked, and I was in Chicago when, for many years when the Chicago Marathon would come by, and in the NBC building, you could look down the street where the start line was. And I had to work one Sunday morning. I remember this, and everybody takes off. They run in front of the building, and then they all go by. And I looked out the window later, and there's just hundreds and hundreds of sweatshirts and jackets on the ground. And I did not know that was part of a marathon, that when it starts and it's cold, they tell you to wear a sweatshirt, and then people just take them off and throw them on the ground. And then they go and collect them and then give them to charity.
Yeah.
That is a very cool thing.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah. Because you're standing there in the corral. And for big marathons like that, you're there for maybe an hour before the
Yep.
race starts.
Yeah.
It's for a reason. Yeah.
So very quickly, if you already bought your book, Amazon or some other ways, bring it. You don't need to buy another one.
That's
there.
right.
I will sign all books, just not library books. Can't do that. And there will be invisible wristbands dispensed tonight, so everyone gets that.
An invisible.
But I think if you bought the book on Amazon, he'll only sign his first name.
No, I'll sign the whole name.
That's
It's okay.
What about if I bought it on Kindle?
Harder to do.
Yeah.
Yes. I'll give you an audio signature.
Because if he signs your screen, technically he's signed every book you own.
Yes, exactly.
That is absolutely. Well, you can use a marker. It'll
Yes.
be fine.
I mean, look, we support local bookstores, independent bookstores. Everywhere I've gone on my book tour, all self-financed, by the way, as all book tours are. Independent bookstores are the ones who produce the events, who create the books, and who create the venues. So many, many thanks. But come on tonight. It'll be great to see you.
Yeah, Left Bank Books will
Yes,
be there
many
tonight.
thanks, many thanks to
They've
Left
been
Bank
awesome.
Books.
They're in my neighborhood. They're a really cool spot. And they were very excited to be part of this. I know Coca is excited to be part of this. Everybody coming out tonight is really looking forward to it. And so are Amy and I. So there's going to be a lot of stage presence on your part and then it'll just be these two anchors next to you.
Yeah.
That's
And
fine.
I
That's
don't
good.
mean I don't mean anchors like CBS News
Yeah.
anchor.
You mean actually
I mean
weighing him down?
Dead weight.
Yeah.
We're talking about dead weight.
Ballast, as
Yes.
they say in
Yeah.
nautical terms. Yes.
Yeah.
Not true. Not true. You will be the light and energy for the entire evening.
Oh my God, you're so nice.
Wow.
Can't wait.
Light and energy. That's you two.
Thanks for
Aw.
coming in. And
Great
we'll
to
see
be
you
here.
tonight.
Yeah, a few
I'll
hours.
see everybody tonight. Yep.
Anything you missed on the Odyssey app, go get it. It's free. Download it, baby. The Dave Glover Show is coming up next. The crossover hour is about to happen right here on KMOX.
When you go to a place of business or hire a business to come to your home, that business has a legal duty to protect you from harm and injury. Yet many times people are attacked, raped, robbed, and even murdered because the business